tough. Okay, so this is my 11th year with Iverson actually, right? So that's a little bit about myself, I think. Okay, if you have any questions regarding Power BI, okay, after the class session, you can drop me an email. That's my email address on the screen, right? Or if you have any questions relating to data science, data analytics, MLAI, or maybe programming like Python, you can also drop me an email. Okay, right? I will try to assist from there. Okay, so right, I'm actually trying to see if more people joining actually. Okay, right? So yep, correct. So if you have any questions during the session, feel free because we're going to do a lot of hands-on today. Okay, so we're going to do a lot of hands-on. So the idea, the plan is actually I will guide you. Okay, because if you have seen the instruction is quite lengthy actually. Okay, for each lab it's about 40 pages of instruction. It's long, so one day not enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to guide you. Okay, you just going to follow me along. So if you have any questions, you can ask me straight away during the session. And if you want to explore for more detail, you want to read the instruction in more detail, okay, you can do that later after the session. But in the session, during the session, just try to follow along. And if you have questions, straight away ask. Okay, right? And if you want to ask question, you can either unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat box. But I think in the chat box, maybe a bit later, okay, I will respond it a bit delayed because while doing the demo, maybe it's very difficult for me to check the messages actually, right? Okay, certificate, yes, Olivia already answered the questions. You will get e-certificates of attendance, okay, for this session. That's why stay logged in because you need to capture your attendance actually. Right, so I think let's just continue with our slides, okay? Right. So first of all, okay, I need to get some introduction for you guys. But instead of asking one by one, which is very impossible to do, so can you please try to scan, okay, this QR code if you have a phone, just like 6 questions for you to answer. And if you don't want to do that, I can also copy the link and paste it in the chat box, so you can actually help me to fill up, okay, the form actually. Okay, this one is just like a quick ice breaking session actually. Okay, right, so we will spend about 2 to 3 minutes to do this. Okay, really appreciate if you can help to fill out the form actually. Yes, someone trying to say something? Exam vouchers, this one I think maybe Olivia can help, okay, to answer these questions actually. Okay, right, so everybody who just joined, can you please scan this QR code or click on the link that I pasted in the chat box, okay, to fill out a quick, okay, Q&A actually. Okay, so the idea is actually for me to get an idea, okay, of the background of my audience actually, okay, so that I can actually set the pace accordingly. Okay, because this is very important, especially for me actually to know your background. So maybe some of you, okay, have been using PowerPoint for quite some time. Okay, some of you never use it before. So I need to find a balance between them. Yeah, right. Right. Thank you. So please, right, still no response. Okay, don't be shy. Oh, already. Okay, so maybe mine is actually not refreshing. Okay, right. Let me just try to refresh my slides. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let me try to refresh my slides actually. For some reason, it's not. Okay. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I think I need to do something here. Okay, thank you for those who are already responding. Okay, I think I need to just quickly refresh my slides. Not sure what is happening here. Okay, sorry, this one sometimes happen. I need to unshare my screen for a quick one. Just a quick one. Sorry about this. Okay, so keep it coming. Keep it coming. Don't worry. Okay, reload. Yep, it's still reloading. Okay, now it's working. Thank you. Right. Ooh, it keep it coming. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Right. Thank you. Thank you. I can see Nicholas. I can see Stephen, Amy, Polo, Joko, Ashish. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Excellent. Okay. Right. So let's look at the second questions. Okay. How to describe your role within the organization? Oh, okay. I can see a few things here. Product manager, business analyst, BI developer. Excellent. Software developer. Excellent. Data analyst. Wow. Operation analyst, finance manager. Wow. Commercial analyst. Okay, logistic. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Right. Good. Okay. Okay. Right. Good. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Keep it coming. Okay. Have you started using Power BI? Okay. Some of you, yes. Okay. Some of you, no. Okay. Some of you, not sure. What is that? Okay. What is the issue there? Maybe. Not sure you have been using Power BI or not. Okay. Interesting. Later we can find out whether you have used it or not. Okay. Good. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Right. And then how are you going to rate? Okay. Right. Most of you rated one. Are you sure? Okay, right. Okay, later we will find out as well. Don't worry, okay? Don't worry. There's no exam or quiz during this session. Okay, right. Excellent. Thank you. Right. Downloaded. Yes. Excellent. Thank you very much. Just make sure, okay, you can easily find your files later because that would be where you're going to see your lab instructions, your CSV file, your Excel file, okay, for the data, and then also some other resources like images and logos actually. Okay, right. That's where you're gonna find it. Okay. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Ready? Yes, excellent. Thank you, everyone. Okay, right. So I think I saw some questions just now in the chat box. Okay, break time. Okay, later soon I will show you the agenda for today. Don't worry about that. Okay, because today is Friday. Okay, so everybody's ready for the weekend. Where can I get the link to download the course material? Okay, let me find the message from Olivia earlier. Okay, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so for those who just joined. I think it's also emailed to you already before the class started. Okay. And then just now I just pasted the message again in the chat box from Olivia where you can download the materials for today's class. Can we record this meeting? Unfortunately cannot. Okay, unfortunately cannot. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Right. So let's just proceed. Okay. Right. Thank you so much for those responding to my quick questionnaire. Right. Okay. Prerequisite. This one again. It's part of it's actually if you have downloaded the material and you have browsed through the documents. This is actually from the documents. The prerequisite, the setup steps from the document that you have downloaded. Actually. Okay. The one that important here is actually good internet connection because or else you will lose the session actually. Okay, right, this one. Okay, internet connectivity, you must have a very good or stable internet connection in order to continue with the session today, right? And then this one I would say very very important, make sure you have downloaded the material and save it somewhere where you can find it easily. Okay, I would recommend you to put it in C drive in a folder called DIAD, dashboard in a day. Okay, dashboard in a day. Okay, right? Okay, because that's where I'm gonna put all my right, my resources actually. Okay, right. So this is the agenda for today. Okay, slightly altered because today is Friday. Okay, because if it's not Friday, then it will be a bit different. Okay, the only difference is actually for today we're gonna have longer lunch break. Okay, because of Friday prayer to accommodate our Muslim friends to go for Friday prayer. Okay, so let me just explain a bit what we're going to do today. So first, we're going to start with a demo. Okay, for those who never use Power BI, this is a good opportunity for you to try it out straight away. Okay, and if you have any questions, okay, you just straight away ask. Okay, and then after that, we're going to quickly start with our first lab. Okay, so the first lab is actually to get your first report created, and then we're gonna add the data first. Okay, we're gonna upload or load the data first. That's the first thing you need to do. Okay, so any data analysis steps or data science or whatever that regarding data, you want to create report or dashboard, you need to always start with loading the data. So you need to know how to do it in Power BI. Okay, so at 10:30, tentatively, okay, right, we're going to take your 15 minutes break. Okay, 15 minutes break. You can grab a coffee, you can reply some email or messages, you can go to the to washroom or whatsoever. 10:45, okay, come back. We will continue with lab one. Again, tentatively, depending on our phase. Okay, because I see here 10 to 10:30 is just 30 minutes. Okay, not sure you can finish, okay, lab one in 30 minutes. And somehow we have more people here. Okay, right? And then we will continue with the lab one. Okay, and then hopefully we are able to complete lab one, okay, in another 30 minutes. Okay, and then after that, we will start with lab two. Okay, lab two is where you're going to explore your data. Okay, try to prepare it. Okay, right, to make it easier. Okay, easier for you to use it for your report. Okay, for your report. Okay, right? And after that, at 12:30, we're gonna stop for lunch, tentatively as well. Okay, tentatively as well, because if you need to go by 12:30, you can. But if you have more questions, maybe we can stick around for a few more minutes. Okay, but not more than 30 minutes. Okay, right? And then after that, come back at 2:30. Okay, we're gonna do lab three, which is visualizations. Okay, these three labs, the first three labs, we are going to use Power BI desktop. So you must have it installed and launch later on. Okay, this Power BI desktop is free of charge, no subscriptions required. Okay, if you don't have any Power BI subscriptions, no problem. Okay, you don't even have to log in to do these three labs actually. Okay, so just make sure you download and install it. Okay, remember, first three labs we are going to use Power BI desktop. Okay, there's no subscriptions required for the first three labs. Okay, right? And then at 3:30, yep, I hear some noises. Someone actually have questions for me? Oh, you forgot to mute yourself. Okay, thank you. Right, so at 3:30, we're gonna take your afternoon break, 15 minutes as well. Okay, and then after the break, we will do the last two labs. Okay, so these last two labs, we are going to use Power BI service. And this Power BI service is not free. Okay, it requires subscription. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you have subscription or not. If you have, you can follow, okay, me with the steps. If you don't have, don't worry, I will just demo to you. Okay, so the last two labs is actually optional because it requires Power BI service subscription. Okay, so the one that we want to focus at least, okay, for you to try on is the first three labs because that one you should be able to do it without any problem as long as you have Power BI desktop installed. Clear on the agendas for today? Any questions so far about what we're going to do today? Right? Thank you. Excellent. So hopefully it's clear. Eh? Right, great. So that's what we're gonna do today. That's the plan. Okay, so tentatively. Okay, so I would like to spend more time on the first three labs because I want you to try it on because that one doesn't require subscription. Okay, the last two labs, if you don't have subscription, don't worry. Once you have it, maybe in future you can try it out. Okay, but for the class, okay, later on, depending on the time, maybe I will just demo to you. Okay, right. But the last two is actually very short. Okay, lab actually. Okay, thank you. So this is actually what you're going to create, something like this actually. Okay, so at the end of the third lab, this is what you're going to create actually, something like this. So you're going to analyze this the data, okay, and you're going to prep the data, model the data, explore the data, convert the data, transform or whatever, okay, that is needed to do, okay. And some of you are business analysts, some of you are data analysts, okay. You should be able to be familiar with the steps already. So we're going to do that, okay, using Power BI desktop today. Okay, and you're going to create something like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, so you're going to start from blank report and hopefully I want to make sure everybody will be able to create something like this at the end of the session actually. Okay, right, so before we continue, let's look at few slides, okay, just like an overview, okay, of digital transformation. Okay, what is digital transformation? So I think everybody agrees now. Okay, so everything is actually digitalized now. Okay, everything is actually what we call online. Okay, online. Okay, so they are there are actually many organizations are already transformed, and some of them are actually still doing or undergoing the process of transforming their process, their process, procedure, their organization as a whole towards digitalization. So I think when it comes to data analysis, it also need to actually you as people who work with data also need to also get yourself upskill, I would say. Upskill, right? So this is actually the idea of digital transformation, because from the data that you have collected every day, you should be able to use this information to, in a way, improve your organization, especially when it comes to decision making. Decision making. That's one part. But other than that, of course, you see here, based on the data that you are going to analyze, and present it in your report and dashboard, hopefully it can help to improve your operations. Improve your operations, or maybe can also improve your services and products. And maybe improve the productivity of your employees within the organization, and also to engage customer better actually. So that's the idea actually. That's the generic idea. Right. So here is actually another slides to show you actually. This is just like overview. Slides actually. You see here, you can capture digital signal across business. You can connect and synthesize the data. Right. You can improve business outcomes. And so on. And all of this actually can be used using a tool like Power BI actually. Using tool like Power BI. So this is just a Microsoft marketing and promotion slides actually, just to show you all the solutions that they have. And you can explore it to have a full-fledged data related solutions actually. Right. So let's look at the evolution of Power BI. So in the beginning, Power BI or BI itself, actually, business intelligence, is not for everyone to use. It actually focuses on a subset of users. Subset of users is considered as technical thing. So that's why last time it's only used by technical people like IT. Like IT. And then after that, they try to make it accessible to people outside IT or technical. Right. So they actually created what they call self-service BI. Last time in the beginning, if you need a report or dashboard to be created, you need to talk to your developers or your IT team actually to prepare it for you. And then of course, because IT and development team actually can be overloaded, right? So the report will be delayed actually. So in order to encourage end users to create report on their own, so that's why they created the self-service BI, where you don't have to wait for IT or developers to create it for you. You can just create it yourself. Okay, right. And then now, right, they try to make it better so that anybody now have access to Power BI, and can simply play with data and create report and dashboard as they need to actually. Right. So one example is actually to make Power BI desktop free and accessible to anyone who wants to try it out. Only the Power BI service requires subscription actually. Power BI desktop is free of charge. It's free of charge. So that is actually the evolution of Power BI. So from only catered a certain group of people, now it's accessible and made public to everybody. Anybody. Okay, right? So this is again, right, the Power BI. Right. So basically, we have three different types of Power BI. If you're not sure, if you don't know yet. So the first one we call it Power BI Desktop, the one that you already install on your machine. Second one we call it Power BI Service, which is the web-based or the web portal. This one requires subscription. And then the third one is Power BI Mobile. This one you need to download and install it on your mobile devices like phones and tablet. And Power BI Mobile also requires subscription. Only desktop is free of charge. Right. So why Okay, Power BI, of course, the desktop version is free. Okay, the desktop version is free actually. Okay, and real-time dashboards and interactive reports later on when you start creating the reports and dashboard, you can explore on your own. Natural language query and AI insights. Okay, so Power BI desktop and Power BI service, Power BI as a whole actually already embedded with AI features. Okay, with AI features. Okay, later on, okay, we're going to do some demo on that actually, on how you can start using the AI features within Power BI. Okay, it's already embedded within Power BI. Okay, custom visualizations and custom connectors. Okay, Power BI already have over 300 connectors. Okay, and then more than hundreds. Okay, visuals. Okay, they're already bundled together with the installation. They come together with Power BI installation, but you can also customize your visuals and connectors. Okay, you can actually create your own visuals. Okay, maybe you want to have a different type of visuals to be used within your report and dashboard. So you can just add it to your Power BI report actually. So it's actually can be done. Okay, right. But for this class, of course, we're going to use the common visuals only and using the existing available connectors for this class. Okay, and then you can integrate your report into your PowerPoint or your SharePoint, your Teams, or even Excel actually. Okay, sorry. That's my cat. Sorry about that. Okay, so you see, once you have your report created in Power BI, so most probably you need to present it. So you can just add it to your PowerPoint. Okay, PowerPoint slides and then present it. Okay, right. So you see here, not only you just use Power BI to analyze your data, to create reports and everything, but you can use the report to embed it into another Microsoft applications or softwares actually, okay? Right, and share it, okay, so that you can collaborate it and present it with your end users or stakeholders, right? Okay,
Hi
so
Emma, I have a
yes.
question.
Mhm.
So you mentioned that the Power BI desktop, that means even with the free version, we can
Mhm.
actually embed it in PowerPoint and Excel. We don't have to
Mm.
have the service to embed.
Oh. Very good question. I think if you just to embed it, okay, because the subscription is required when you want to use the service. Okay, that's what I know. But if you don't have, okay, I think you should still be able. But okay, honestly, I never tried because I do have subscription. Okay, but we can try without subscription. Can you still embed it within PowerPoint? Good question, actually, which I never tried. Okay, since I do have subscription, but we can try. Okay, we can try that. Okay, right? Because again, subscriptions is required for the service. Okay, because the workflow is this actually. So you create your report in the Power BI desktop, and when you want to share it with another people, like example, your team member, your colleagues, your managers, okay, usually the step is actually to share it into your Power BI service. You need to publish it to Power BI service. But once it's published in Power BI service, anybody who wants to view the report need to also have subscription because that's service. Okay, but your question is actually you want to embed it within PowerPoint. Okay, and PowerPoint also requires subscription, but assuming you already have it. But I never tried. Okay, if you don't have subscription, is it still possible for you to embed the report into PowerPoint, which we can try later? Okay, why how? By just log out from the Power BI account and then try to embed it within the PowerPoint. We can try that. Good question. Remind me later on. Okay, we can try that one. Okay,
Okay, thank you, Emma.
no problem. Good. Okay, any other questions so far? Do we need or able to create Microsoft Fabric account? If you have a working email or university email, then you should be able to create the Microsoft Fabric account, I think. Okay, right? Should be able. I think that's the requirement. Okay, but whether you're gonna have a license to some of the services, that's another story because some of the services are not free. Some of the products are not free. So you still need to have subscription actually. Okay, you still need to have subscription. So I think if you don't have subscription, the most you can get is the trial version. Okay, the most you can get is the trial version actually. Okay, right? Only Power BI Desktop is free. Okay, only Power BI Desktop is free, but this one you need to download and install it. Okay, right? So this one is actually a screenshot of the Power BI service, okay, the web portal. Okay, so one thing you need to remember, report, you're going to create it in the Power BI desktop, but dashboard, you're going to create it in the service. Okay, dashboard, you are not going to create it in the desktop version of Power BI. Dashboard, you're going to create it in the service, actually the web portal. Okay, that's one thing you need to remember. Okay, so the interactivity is actually just like my slides here, the videos. Okay, so if you set it to be if you set the data to be updated or refreshed periodically, okay, then or if you are using real time connection like streams of data, then your report also gonna reflect, okay, the updates actually from time to time. Okay, this one is of course depending on your configuration, but this is actually possible. Okay, it's doable within Power BI. Okay, Power BI, right? Okay, and then here we have the NL, okay, natural language query and AI insights. Okay, actually here they don't really show you where is the insights and everything. Okay, but you can actually see, okay, because this is the data, sorry, Power BI desktop version. Okay, so you can see here, can you see the top one here? Ask a question with Q&A. Okay, actually this feature is actually later on you're going to see it in the dashboard. Okay, the dashboard, there's a Q&A. It's actually AI. Okay, it's actually AI, right? So you can actually use that one to try to explore more on your data and reports actually. Okay, so this one is actually just like a demo. Okay, you see, you can actually ask questions, okay, just using any statements, okay, and then it will try to quickly scan your data and come up with some visuals, and if you like the visuals, okay, right, you can add it to your report and dashboard actually. Okay, you can add it to your report and dashboard. Okay, again, later on, if we have time, hopefully we have time, then we can explore this together, okay, in the lab. Okay, so you see here we have lots of uh, pre-built, okay, I'll say pre-built, okay, visuals that you can use. Okay, but of course, if you look at the visualization pane here, they don't display everything. Instead, they will show only the commonly used, okay, visuals. But if you see here, there's a three dots here. We call it ellipse. Okay, this one you can click and you can add additional visuals that you might want to use within your report actually. Okay, so this one also later we can explore, right? So once your report is completed, created, okay, so you can actually embed it within your PowerPoint so that you can present it, or maybe you want to share it within your Microsoft Teams, okay, or maybe you want to embed it within your Excel, or maybe in your SharePoint, okay, in your SharePoint, right? So this is actually just to show you, okay, right, an example, okay, right? So this is just some reports. Okay. Again, this is your, okay, the report that you're going to create. Let me just quickly load the sample that I have created, okay, earlier, and just to give you an idea what you are going to do next. So I'm starting up my Power BI and try to look, okay, the sample solution of the report that you're going to create later today. Okay, soon. Okay, we're going to start soon actually. Okay, so if you haven't started out, okay, your Power BI, can you please start it? Okay, because we're going to start with lab one soon. Okay, but this one, I'm just going to show you the sample report that you're going to create later. Okay, so it's just putting up. Okay, it's taking its own sweet time. Okay, something like this. So I'm going to apply changes here. So it's updating my data as well. So again, you are going to create something like this, okay? And I want to make sure, okay, everyone also gonna get something similar like this at the end of today, okay, at the end of the day. So we will try to do it up to lab 3 first, okay? Until lab 3, this is what you're going to see actually later on. Okay, so it's still loading my data, okay? Wow, it's actually taking its own sweet time to load the data, okay? So again, just to show you, okay, So everybody, okay, once you downloaded the material, okay, you can actually store it in C drive in a folder called DIED. Let me just explain what you have inside your folder actually. So you're going to see two folders, okay, subfolders, data and reports, and you see a couple of PDF, okay, PDF files. Okay, you have a copy of the day slides except the customizations that I have, okay, right? And then you have the prerequisites document. If you haven't actually checked it out, maybe it's time for you to check it quickly. What's the contents? And then you have your lab instructions. Okay, lab 1 until lab 5. Okay, so we're going to do it one by one. Okay, and then in these folders, okay, data first. Okay, you have your images that you're going to add to your report. Okay, you have the logo, you have the theme. Okay, the theme file that you're going to use. Okay, and then sorry, this is the theme. Okay, and then you have the data. Okay, you have CSV files that contains the data, and you also have another folder that contains the data. Okay, in Excel. Okay, in Excel, this one. Okay, so this is where you're gonna get your data for the report later on. Okay, and then inside another folder called reports here, you can see the sample solution. Okay, the sample solution. So we're gonna start with blank. Okay, but after each lab, if you miss any step and you cannot actually complete the report for that particular lab, okay, if you want to start the next lab, you can just use the solution from here. Okay, you can just use the solution from here. Don't worry about incomplete report from the previous lab. Okay, you can always use the solutions from this folder actually. Okay, from this folder. Okay, mine is actually loaded already. Okay, let me just show you what you have here. So first, okay, Power BI. For those who are not actually familiar with Power BI, let me explain the interface first. Okay, because when you read the instruction, you need to know where to find it. Okay, you need to know where to find it. So first, the ribbons at the top. Okay, the top one here, we call it ribbons. Okay, or some people want to call it tab. Also can. Okay, I can accept it. But the term, the correct term is ribbons. Okay, if you heard that noises, it's actually like a circus behind me today. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have home, insert, modeling, view, optimize, help, ribbon. So we're going to start with home. Okay, so within home, you will see a collections of icons here. Okay, it's called group. So in the instruction, when they mention home ribbon data group, okay, so this is where you need to look for. Okay, if it says home ribbon calculations group, it will be this one. You see, at the bottom here is basically the name of the groups. Okay, remember that one, eh? Okay, so that's the ribbon. Okay, so insert ribbon, modeling ribbon, view ribbon, optimize ribbon. Okay, but most of the time for today's lab, you're going to use either home, insert, modeling, or view only today. Okay, right. Next, on the left-hand side, you have what we call navigation pane. Okay, navigation pane or view. So you have three icons here. Okay, you can mouse over. The first one, the top one, is what we call report view. Okay, this is where you're going to create your report. Okay, and as you can see at the bottom, you have pages. Okay, so your report can have more than one pages. How to add another page? Just click on the plus sign here, plus sign here, plus sign here. So now you have multiple pages. You don't like it? Delete, just like that. Okay, delete, just like that. Okay, so you see here, you can also rename. Okay, you can rename the page, you can delete the page, you can hide the page, or you can duplicate the page. Okay, but your report will have at least one page, which is the first one here. Okay, so that's the report view. On the report view, on the right hand side, you will see three pane. Okay, Pane. Okay, you can expand it. The first one is called data pane. Okay, data pane. This is where you can see your tables and columns. Okay, you can expand it. Okay, some of the operation we need to perform in the data pane here. I will let you know, okay, when we need to do that. Okay, and then after that, you have visualizations pane. Okay, this is where you're going to find all the visuals, okay, the charts, okay, the plots, okay, right? And then you see here, there's the three dots, okay, you can actually get more visuals from the marketplace. Okay, I call it marketplace. I don't really know the actual name, but I just call it marketplace because it looks like a market here. Okay, so you can actually explore all the available visuals if you want to use it within your report. Okay, so like example, you want to choose maybe I just quickly sunburst. Okay, right? If you want to use that one, click on it, read the description, read the review, and if it's good, add it. Okay, add it, and then it will be added to your visualization pane under bit visual tab. Then you can just add it. Okay, right? And then if you see under visualization pane, we have so if you mouse over this one or if you click, you see the top one here, build visuals. And if you click the one with the paintbrush, you will see format page. Okay, so you can also do formatting, okay, for your visuals, okay, in your report. Okay, so later on we're going to work with these two tabs actually most of the time in order to customize or create our report. Okay, next we have filters. As the name says, filter. You're going to have many tables, many columns, many records. So you might want to work with subset, okay, of report, okay, or data. So that's why you need to do filtering. So one thing that you need to be aware at this moment, okay, we have different types of filter can be applied here. Okay, you see here filters on this page. Okay, you have filters on all page. And if I click one visual, for example, I click on this matrix, you have filters on this visual. So be careful to put the filters on the right section. You have filters on this visual, you have filters on this page, you have filters on all pages. Okay, so if you put filters on this visual, means it's only applicable to that selected visuals only. If you put it under filters on this page, it will be applicable to all visuals in this page. So, an example, I have one here, right? So, you see at the moment, two is selected, top competitors and fans as Dell. So, if I untick, okay, right, you see it's actually updating my visuals, okay, updating my visuals, okay, accordingly. Okay, right? So this is actually the difference between filters on page and these filters on visuals. Okay, if visuals is only this one, only applicable to this one. So like example, maybe I actually want to, because as you can see here, okay, I have urban and rural. So maybe I just want to look at extreme. You see, only this one is updated. Okay, right? Just to show you. Okay, questions. Which folder need to open? Um, which folder? At the moment, you don't have to open anything yet. I'm just showing you the final report that you're going to create later. Can we undo the deletion if mistakenly deleted? Unfortunately, cannot. There's no undo here. Okay, they have. Okay, they have here actually. Okay, but only works if you haven't saved the report. If you already saved the report, bye bye. Okay, if you haven't saved the report, means sometimes people just risk a quick, okay, they just delete and then control as save. Then bye bye. Okay, but if you haven't saved, then you can try to undo it actually. Okay, right. So that's the first view, which is report. Okay, later we're gonna exploit one more time. Okay, and then one thing that I want to show you here, okay, in the home ribbon, if you look at here, this is the publish button. So when you click on this publish button, it will publish your report to the Power BI service. That's where you need to log into your account. Okay, and as you can see here, I already log into my account. Okay, if you don't log in, if you don't have subscription, you can still do the report today. Okay, right. Let's move on to the second one. Okay, just one more thing I haven't actually explained to you. So at the bottom here, you see this is a new feature added to Power BI desktop. Last time we don't have this. Okay, you have a desktop, you have mobile, so you can actually also design how your report's going to look like if you try to view it in a mobile device. For example, okay, I haven't actually created it, so maybe I just want to put the title like this. Okay, and because if you can see here, you can't see anything because the font is actually in white color. So if I actually change the font to black, then you can see the right this one. Okay, and maybe I can actually add one visuals that looks like this. Okay, so meaning here, if someone is actually viewing my report, okay, using mobile application, the mobile version of Power BI, this is how they're going to see my report actually. Okay, this is how they're going to see my report. Okay, right? So you can use this one to design the layout, okay, the report for mobile users, okay? But in this class, most of the time, we're going to use the desktop version. Okay, on the right hand side here, okay, maybe some of you might find it useful. I do actually, okay, because in the beginning we don't have this, okay, so we don't have this zooming thing actually. Now we have zoom, okay, which is one of the features that I like, okay, during one of the Power BI updates, okay. And then the second, okay, view here is called table view, okay. So table view basically where you can actually see the data, okay, that your table, okay, have. Okay, so you can also expand it to see the column. Okay, but this is where you can actually see the data. Okay, the data. Okay, you can actually scroll, you see, okay, quite fast. Okay, right. So you can scroll, you see, we have 176, but it's not lagging. Okay, cool, right? This one you have millions of records. Okay, so you can actually see it from here. Okay, and other than that, you can also see some items. Okay, so some operations that you can perform on your table later on. Okay, and then move on to the third one is model view. Okay, model
Emma,
view.
I have a question. What
Mm-hmm.
is the file size that we can import into this Power BI desktop? Is there like a file size limit?
Not.
Example, like
Mm-hmm.
400 megabyte. Can we upload such large file into this Power BI desktop?
Okay, from what I know, it should be able to load it. It should be able to load it. If it's just 400 meg, okay, it should be able to load it actually without a problem. It's just that, okay, depending on your machine specs, okay, maybe a bit slow. Okay, maybe a bit slow. Okay, right? So it should still be able to load it. It's just that whether it's fast or not depends on your machine specs actually. Okay, right?
Okay.
Okay. Right, good. Thank you. Okay, so here is actually where you can see the table, I would say diagrams. Okay, because if you can see here, right, one table will be displayed in one square here, a table we call it. And then as you can see, there's a line connecting the tables. So this one is actually what we call modeling. Or if you are familiar with database, okay, this is what we call relationship. Okay, table relationship. Okay, because when your developer, okay, when the application store data, most of the time they're gonna store it in multiple tables. Okay, multiple tables, not a single table. Okay, right. So when you want to use the data, you need to connect them back together because the data is already segregated. Okay, right. So you need to combine them, link them together so that it will be more meaningful actually. Okay, it will be more meaningful. Later on, you will see when we do the lab, okay, when you don't have relationship between your tables, your data, your report may not be accurate. Okay, your data may not be accurate. But then again, this is the one that we're going to create today, actually. So, any other questions about the activity that we're going to perform today so far? Okay, have you launched your Power BI desktop? Are you ready with the report? Are you ready to do the report now?
Emma, sorry, I have another question. If we
Mhm.
already have a Power Pivot file that already link all the data tables with relationship, will Power
Mhm.
BI desktop be able to import a Power Pivot Excel file?
Okay, Power Pivot Excel file. Okay, I don't know if you do have that Power Pivot Excel file, but I do know you have Excel file. Okay, because I'm not really expert in Excel. I use Excel, but not cannot call myself Excel expert. Okay, but I'm more to programming. So what I know here, if you have Power Pivot in actually, if you have an Excel file, you can actually import the Excel file into your Power BI. It's just that I'm not sure if your Power Pivot Excel is actually a different file with different extension. That one I'm not sure, but you can actually try to see. I can actually show you here. Okay, so if I actually open up this one, okay, if it's actually file, so these are the available, okay, or supported, okay, type of files that you can look at the moment into Power BI. Okay, if it's actually an Excel file, then yes, you can. But if it's not something else, most probably cannot. Okay.
So if it's an Excel CSV, we can.
Yes, definitely can.
Excel.csv. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Excel.csv. So Excel.csv is CSV file, right? Okay, right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so basically, what your users need actually access to your data, and most probably, okay, you need to have data that is already clean. If it's not clean, then you need to clean it. Okay, and then you need to explore the data, and then you need to prepare, okay, the report, visualize the data because nobody wants to see the numbers and figures, but they want to see visuals. Okay, yeah, and then after that, you can share. Okay, so you see here, this is basically the steps that you're going to perform when you are working with data in Power BI, okay, Power BI desktop especially, right? Any other question? Okay, I know you can't wait to start with your report. So again, these are the things that we're going to perform actually. So we're going to start with preparing the data. Okay, basically load the data into Power BI desktop. We're going to explore it. Okay, once done, we're going to create your report. Okay, and then after the report is completed, then we can publish it. Okay, we can publish it. Okay, so that's the step. So when it comes to data, okay, your data in real situation in your organization, the data can actually comes from anywhere. Okay, but for this class, we're only gonna use files, Excel file and CSV file. Okay, because those doesn't require any setup on your end, and some more is a 1 day session. But okay, for your own report, sorry, for your own project, the data can comes from anywhere. As you can see, there are many connectors available, and the list is actually updated from time to time. Okay, so it could be from your own server, it could be from other people's server, it could be from Azure, it could be from files, it could be from Power BI resources, it could be from third party, can be from anywhere. Okay, so once the data loaded, of course, you need to explore the data. Okay, you might need to merge or append, combine the data, the tables. You might need to do some transformation. You want to select some columns, you want to remove some columns, you want to merge some columns, you want to convert columns. Okay, you want to split columns, you want to replace the values. See, those are the things you might need to perform in order to prepare your data for your report actually. Okay, right? And then that's exactly what we're going to do in the first lab. So we are going to start with the first lab very soon. Okay, right? So get your Power BI desktop launch. Okay, and then this is what we're going to do actually. Okay, so basically we're going to load the data. Okay, we're going to start exploring the data and we're going to see, okay, how it's going to look like when you plot it in some visuals actually. Okay, so if you are ready, let's open up your first lab instructions actually. So this one, lab one. How do we collaborate in preparing data set? Uh, okay, you mean you have the data and you want to share, okay, with other team members in preparing the data. That's what you're trying to ask, is it?
Yes, yes, you're right. Basically, how we can, as a team, we have a team to
Uh-huh,
prepare the data,
uh-huh.
getting all the data from all the multiple sources, and then we have another
Mhm.
team to work on the data. So how do we do that in Power BI?
Okay, because you see here, Power BI is not data managing tools actually. It's not. Okay, it's not data management tool like SQL, SQL Administrator or whatsoever. No. So Power BI is actually a reporting tool, data analytics and reporting tool. It's not actually a tool for you to work on the data itself. Okay, so you need to be clear on that. Okay, so Power BI is actually a reporting tool, data analytic tool. You use the data and then visualize it. But it's not actually for you to massage your data here and then share it with another team members and then continue using Power BI to massage your data. No, it's not. Okay, you need to be clear on that. But if let's say, okay, because you need to remember when you load the data into Power BI desktop, you are actually creating copies of the data in your local machine. Okay, right? So if you want to share that local copy, you can share it with your team members. Okay, one way is actually to publish it to Power BI service, and then everybody can link their report to the one that you already shared in the Power BI service. Okay, but remember when you are working with the data, it's actually a local copy. Okay, and you are not modifying, if let's say your data is from database, you are not modifying data in the database. No, you are modifying local copy. Okay, clear on that?
Okay, all right, clear. So what will be the workaround for that? Meaning, do any suggestion?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, okay, if your team members all have access to Power BI service, what you can do, you already prepare the data in your local machine, then you can just share it in the Power BI service because it can be shared in the Power BI service. And then if you, let me just switch back to my Power BI. Okay, you see here, okay, let me just, okay, you see here, once you publish it to Power BI service, okay, your team members can connect their reports to the Power BI data set that you already published to the service actually. Okay, so they can actually use it, okay, connect to it. So any changes that you did on your local machine, you publish it to service and everybody who are connected to your Power BI data sets will get the updates as well. That's the flow actually.
Right, thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, right. Okay, let's open up the lab instruction. So everybody open up lab one. Okay, lab one. So we're gonna start with lab one. Okay, I'm gonna put the instruction on the other screen so that I can actually refer to it. Okay, at the same time I'm doing the lab actually. So everybody, we're gonna start with lab one. Okay, lab one, this one, right? Okay, what time is it now? Okay, ngam. Okay, 10 o'clock. We're going to do this until 10:30 and then we're going to stop for your break. Okay, so lab one, okay, preparing your data. Okay, accessing and preparing your data. So you can actually, we're going to skip all the introduction. This one you can read it on your own. So you might need to actually read, okay, these steps, okay, on your own as well. Okay, and then we're going to launch the Power BI desktop. Okay, so I'm going to close my report here. Okay, for some reason we cannot actually. Okay, so I'm actually just going to close and relaunch my. Okay, I don't want to save it. Okay, I'm just going to launch it one more time. Okay, just to show you. Okay, right. So from the beginning, once it started, most of the time they will actually show this welcome pop up. Okay, so you can actually just close it. Okay, you can just close it. Okay, and to prepare your Power BI for all the data that we're going to use today, we might need to do some setting configuration. Okay, some setting configuration. Okay, right. So mine is already started. Okay, so how to set the settings? Okay, we need to go to file here. Okay, we go to file, you can just ignore all the list here, right? You go to options and settings and then options. This is where you can set the configuration for your Power BI desktop. Okay, Power BI desktop. Okay, so what is the settings that you need to change? Okay, before we continue, okay, this one very important. Okay, you look at here on the left hand side, you have a label called or category called global. And you also have current file. So be careful where you set the settings. Okay, when it says current file means only this report. So the next report that you're going to create will not get the same configuration. Okay, so if you actually set regional settings for this, okay, under current file means it's only for this file. So when I close this report, I create another report, I need to do the same thing again because it's only for one file. Okay, but if you want it to be applicable to all reports that you're going to create in the same Power BI desktop, you need to set it here. Okay, you need to set it here. Okay, and for your lab step 6, it's actually asking you to set the regional settings under current path. But just to let you know, okay, what is the implication of doing it here? Since today we're going to create only one, okay, so it's only going to affect our current report actually. So let's change it to English United States. Okay, if it's not already selected, mine is actually for some reason is always showing Malaysia. So I need to change it to United States here. And don't forget to click on OK here. Very important. Okay. And then if this one pop up, just click apply. At the moment, you don't have anything loaded to your Power BI yet. Okay. Right. So far, so good. Basically, that's the first thing actually. Okay. And even though this is not the first step in your lab, but I usually do it in my class. Okay. What is it? Save your report. Okay, save your report. Okay, you need to save your report. in case, okay, anything happen. Okay, so everybody, let's save our report. Yes, it's still blank, no data yet, but let's just save your report first. Okay, right, so that if anything happen, okay, we can still find our report somewhere. Okay, so everybody, let's save our report. Okay, the empty report. How do you know it's still not saved? You see here, when your Power BI desktop started, it always start with a one blank untitled report. Okay, so the first thing, save it. Okay, so I'm going to click save as, or if you want to click save, also can, because this is the first time we're going to save it. Okay, where should we save your report? Okay, in your DIAD folder, your working directory, you have reports folder. You can save it here, or if you don't want, you can also put it in your DIAD folder. Totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to put it in reports folder. Okay, and I'm going to call it, okay, my first Power BI model. Okay, because that's basically the name that you're going to use in this lab actually. Okay, but if you don't want, you can use any name you want. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so my first Power BI model. Maybe I just change it to report. Okay, my first Power BI report. No need to change the extension, just use the default one here and then click save. So now you can rest assured a copy of your report is already created in your working directory. So from time to time, you can just save your work. Okay, that's very important. Okay, make sure you save your file first. So far, so good. Any questions so far up to this point? All right, good, excellent, everybody. Now we want to start, okay, loading the data. So the first data, okay, the report that you're going to create is actually sales data. It is actually sales data for a particular product, okay, which I'm not really sure what's the product actually, okay, but some products, okay, and the data is actually collected for multiple countries. So you have Australia, you have US, you have Canada, and so on. So the first data that you're going to load is the data for US, okay, and the data is actually stored in a CSV file. Okay, in a CSV file. So again, in your data folder here, can you see US sales folder? That's the file that you're going to load. Okay, so let's go ahead and load the data. So how to load a CSV file? Okay, if you can see my screen here, there are a few ways you can do it actually. You can click here under data pane. You can click in the middle of your report page. Okay, right? Or you can go from home ribbon data group. We're gonna get CSV file. So you don't see it here on the icons, but you can click on get data, click on the arrow. Okay, from the list, you select text CSV. Okay, right. And then after that, we're going to browse to our data folder, okay, into US sales, and then select the file. Okay, select the file. Okay, and then after that, click open. Okay, so just wait for a while, then it will open up the sales.csv pop-up that looks like this. Okay, up to this point, anybody have any problem following the steps? So if you want to refer to the steps, we are currently at step 12 actually. Okay, step 12. So you can see here, Power BI will try to automatically load your CSV file, okay, into a table with columns. Okay, so by default, because just now when you try to open the file, it will scan your data and try to convert it. Okay, and if your file is using comma as delimiter or separator, that will be, okay, transformed correctly. Okay, but if you are using different delimiter or separator, you can specify from the list here actually, but by default, it will be common. Okay, and as you can see here, data type detection, okay, that's what also Power BI can do. It will try to detect the data type for each column based on the values. But if you can see here, okay, it's not actually scanning the whole file. In this case, it's only based on the first 200 rows. Okay, based on the first 200 rows. Okay, if it's actually not null or no error within the cells, then it should be able to detect the type correctly. Okay, if you have errors within your cells, within your columns, you will get error later on when you try to load it. Oh, you are using company laptop, but is there anywhere within your drive, maybe in other location, maybe document or maybe another drive? Okay, if that's the case, just store it anywhere within your directory where you can actually create your whole working directory. Okay, right? If you can't do it in C drive, then just do it somewhere else where you can easily find your folder. Okay, not a problem actually. All right, good. As long as you know where to find it, that's very important. Okay, right. So now, can we use Microsoft Excel binary worksheet? Ah, good question. I never tried actually, but you can try. Okay, you can try. Okay, because mostly because you are working with binary data. Okay, I never worked with that kind of binary data before, so I never actually tried out. But you can try. Okay, you can try. Okay, see what will come out actually. Okay, when you're trying to load the binary Excel file. Good question. Okay, right. Okay, so next let's proceed. Okay, at the bottom here you will see three buttons. Okay, three buttons. Okay, so we have load, we have transform, we have cancel. Okay, so I think you know what cancel means. Okay, but how about load and transform data? Okay, so load basically it will straight away load your data into Power BI desktop and you can start working your report straight away. That's what it means by load. Okay, so if you already have data which is already prepared by someone else and you just want to quickly start with your report, you click load. But if you have something that you want to perform on your data first, you need to do conversion, you need to do merging, you need to do replace and whatsoever, then you need to click on transform data because this one will load another window called Power Query Editor. If you are already been using Power Query okay, in Excel, it's actually similar thing. Okay, it's actually the same thing. So for this one, everybody, you're going to click on transform data and it will launch the Power Query Editor. So I actually think I have another questions here. Which one need to upload the file? You are logging to the Power BI service. Anna, we are currently in Power BI desktop. Okay, so switch to your Power BI desktop and not using the Power BI service. Okay, so you are actually at the wrong place there. Okay, switch to Power BI desktop. Why we select CSV option instead of Excel workbook? Because the file that we are using is CSV file. Okay, you see, it is actually CSV file. It's not Excel. Okay, that's why. If you are loading Excel file, then yes, you use Excel workbook. But we are not. That's why. Okay, I mentioned earlier, it's actually a CSV file. Okay, clear on that, eh? Right. Let's move on. Okay, now you have the, oh, let me just close this one. Okay, now you have the Power Query Editor open. Okay, you have Power Query Editor open. Okay, and as you can see here, okay, you also have ribbons. You can explore it. Home, transform, add column, view, tools, and help. Okay, and go back to home ribbon. Okay, within home ribbon, you have many different groups. Okay, yeah. Okay, don't do anything yet. Okay, later we'll do together. Okay, and then below the ribbon, you will see what we call formula bar. Okay, formula bar. It's very similar to your Excel formula bar. Very similar. Okay, but it's just that here we don't use Excel formulas. We use what we call data analytics or analysis expression or short DAX expression. Okay, so that's the kind of formula that we're going to use later. Okay, on the left hand side, you will see query spin. Okay, so at the moment you will see one because there's only one query. Okay, the whole thing here is called query. Okay, if you want to call data set, you want to call table, also fine by me. Okay, right? So we have sales here. Okay, we have sales here, right? One, and then on the right hand side, you can see the query settings, properties, and applied types. Yes, you can. If you accidentally click load, no problem. From there, you can click transform data. It will launch the Power Query Editor. Clear on that? Rush me. Okay, if you accidentally click load, okay, it happens. Okay, it happens. Okay, you quickly load this. Right? So yes, you can actually launch the Power Query Editor by clicking in the home ribbon, queries group, transform data, and then it will relaunch your Power Query Editor. Got it? All right, excellent. Okay, on the right-hand side, okay, first you can see the query settings. You have properties here where you can change the name of your table or query later on. And then one thing I want you to notice is actually the applied steps here. Okay, so anything that you perform on your query or your data set or your table will be recorded here. Example, let me do something here. Let's say I rename my table here. Okay, I change here. Let's say I put here sales data underscore. So this one doesn't do recording. Okay, so few things. Okay, apparently not. Okay, let's say I click on the revenue column here. Okay, and then I click on the small icon next to the column name. Okay, 1.2 here is actually a data type. Okay, a data type. So let's say I change it to fixed decimal number. Okay, so if let's say you see I have replaced current and add new step. Okay, if I click on add new step, then it will actually add it here. Okay, right. Anything that you actually perform on your queries table will be listed here. Okay, and if I want to undo, let's say I made a mistake. Okay, so I can just click on the cross here, then it will revert to the original one. Okay, to the original one. But this one, let's say I want to change it back to sales so that it will be same as the rest of you. Okay, so later on when you do any steps or you perform any steps on your table, okay, it will be listed here. Okay, and if you look at each step, okay, if you click on it, you will see the state of your data actually whenever you perform that particular steps. Okay, some of the steps you will see wheels at the end of it. It's actually the configuration. You can actually click on it actually, but don't do any changes at this point, right? Right, you just click on it and see what are the configuration looks like. Okay, right? This one doesn't have. Okay, clear on this one, eh? Right. So everybody, let's look at your lab step at step number 14. So we are going to do step number 14 because there's a description here. Okay, notice that Power BI has set the zip column to the data type whole number. Zip. Okay, whole number, how do you know? You see 1, 2, 3 here. If you click, 1, 2, 3 is whole number. Okay, the problem is actually because some postcodes start with 0. Okay, some postcodes start with 0. When you use whole number, the 0 is truncated, removed. So the postcode is incomplete. So in order to avoid that, we need to change the data type to text because text will not remove the the 0 at the beginning. So everybody, this step number 14 is actually to ask you to change the data type of this column to text. So everybody again, you click on the icon here and then change the text. Yes, I know, the steps actually showed you a very long way to do it, but the quickest one is actually just to click on the icon, and then change it to text and then replace current. Okay, so now you see this one especially, it has 0, as the first number. This one also. So if you change it back to number, replace current, now you see it's missing the 0, which is not correct. Okay, right? So if let's say you follow the steps, it's actually show you the longer way, to do it actually. So I think you need to go to transform, and then you need to go here under any column and then select from the list, which is a very long way for you to do actually. The quickest way, of course, just click on the small icon next to the column name and then change it to text and then replace current. That's it. That's step 14. Everybody okay with that one?
Sorry, my row one is actually product ID. How do I change that?
Sorry again?
My row one is actually product ID.
Row 1 is product ID. You mean column?
Yeah, but
Uh,
the row one is actually product ID. So how do I change that? Means
I'm not
the
sure.
row two.
I have the same issue. Just close and then do again, reload and then transform.
Ah,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So what he's saying is the header is not appearing. I can only see from row one onwards. It happened to me. So I just
ah,
close and reload because there's no way I can transform because the header, the zip, the units, the revenue, that one's not showing. That's what
I
you're saying, right?
see.
You just need to
Yes, thank
close
you very much.
close the file
Okay,
and
I'll
then
try that again.
reload again. Yeah.
Reopen again. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe you can try use first row as a header.
Yes, yes. This one. I was about to say that actually. Use first row as header. This one. You can try this one as well. If your column name is actually the first row. So I think that's what it's trying
Yeah,
to say
it's okay
actually.
now. Already. Thank you very much.
So I think that's what happened actually. Your column name is actually the first row. So another way to do it is actually to click on this one actually. Use first row as headers. Okay, right? Okay, right. So let's proceed. Now we are actually at step 16. Okay, we're going to load another data set, okay, from an Excel file. Okay, from Excel file. So the second file is actually this one, which is Excel. Okay, right. So still in Power Query Editor, okay, in Home ribbon, New Query Group, you click on New Source, click on the arrow, and then select Excel Workbook. Okay, Excel Workbook. Okay, mine it's still loading, I think. Okay, it's actually in the other screen. Okay, so mine already detected the Excel file in my directory, in the same directory as before. Okay, by underscore dimensions, select it, and then click open. And click open. Okay, next step is actually from step 13. Okay, step 13, because the rest of the steps is just explanation. Okay, I'm not going to read that for you. Actually, you can read it on your own. Okay, so from the file, we have three different worksheet we need to load. Sorry, three. Okay, the first one, okay, is product table. So put a check next to product table. And you see here, the moment you select the table, it will actually show a preview of the table, of the data in the table. Okay, right. The second table that you want to load is geo. Put a check next to it. And then the third one is manufacturer. So three tables. Okay, make sure you select these three tables actually. Okay, not really table. If you see here, this is a worksheet, but only the first one is actually a table. You see the icon here is a bit different because in the Excel file, apparently this particular worksheet has table. Okay, so make sure the three here is selected and then click OK. Right, now you will see on the left hand side inside the queries pane, you have additional queries added. Now you should have four: sales, product table, geo, and manufacturer. Everybody got the same thing? Okay, excellent. Okay, excellent. So now at least you have two types of file loaded. One is CSV file and the other one is Excel. Still loading. Okay. Right. Yes. Depending on your machine, sometimes it will take some time to load. Okay. It's okay. Right. So next, okay, remember we still have few more data we need to load. Okay. And if you look at inside the international sales, you have another collection of CSV file you need to load. Okay, but at this point, okay, in Power BI or in this case Power Query Editor, there's no way you can actually load multiple files at the same time. Cannot. You need to do it one by one. However, you can actually use load folder. Okay, if your files contain in a single folder, you can actually load the folder instead. Okay, and especially if the files are actually have the same number of columns and structure actually. Okay, so you can just load the folder instead. Okay, right. So the next step is actually, okay, now we actually in the next task, okay, step 23. Now we're actually at the step 23. What we're going to do, we're going to load folder. Okay, right. So we're going to load this folder called international sales. Okay, so how to do that? Again, still in Power Query Editor, home ribbon, click on the arrow next to new source. Okay, you don't see folder here, so you click more. You click more, okay, and then under all category on the right hand side, you select folder. Okay, you select folder. Okay, now we are actually at step 26. Okay, I'm going to tell you at which steps we are currently at. Actually, step 26. Make sure folder selected and then click connect. Right, so it will come up with this folder dialog. Okay, so we need to browse to our international sales folder. So click browse. Okay, I need to find it in my C drive. Okay, the folder, data folder, and international sales. Okay. Okay, so browse until you see international sales folder and then select it. So far, so good. Right. So everybody click OK. Then you will see this. Okay. So let me just resize it actually. Okay. Right. So you see we have 6 files. Okay. Binary, it says here. And then the name of the file, the extension, the date access, and then here. But you don't see the actual data yet. Okay, you don't see the actual data yet. Okay, so to do that, okay, we're gonna click on combine and transform. So you see, before you that, remember, you can do load data from folders if your all your files have the same structure. In this case, they all have the same number of columns with the same name of for the columns actually. If your files are different, you cannot do this. Okay, you need to manually load the file one by one. Okay, this one is only possible if all the files are actually have the same format. Okay, so now we're going to click combine and transform data. Step 31. Okay, so now it's actually, all right, so you will see this combine files window or wizard. Okay, so first thing I want you to see the top one here. Can you see sample file drop down? Okay, it says here first file. So if you look at the preview, it's actually the data from the first file, which is australia.tsv. Only Australia is displayed. Okay, but if you want to see other countries or other file, you can select from the list here and then you can select example Germany. Now it will try to load the data from Germany file. Okay, right? So before you click OK, you can actually browse through the data within individual file. If everything is okay, then you just click OK here. Now it will load the data into your Power Query editor. Okay, and depending on your machine, it might take some time. Okay, it might take some time actually. Okay, any question up to this point? Anybody actually miss any steps up to this point? Right, good. Okay, so now you look at the queries pane. Okay, you have 2 folders here. The first one is transform files from international sales. We are not going to use this one. Okay, but if you want to explore, you can. Okay, this is basically just to show you what are actually happening just now when you are doing the combine and transform. But at this point, okay, we are just going to minimize it because we are not going to use it. We are going to focus on these 5 only. Okay, on this 5 only. Okay, and see now you have additional queries added called international sales. Click on it. Okay, you will see the name, the columns. Okay, how to quickly check the size of your data set on the left hand side. Can you see on the left hand side here? That's the dimension actually. You have 7 columns and many rows. Okay, they can only show up to 1,000 actually. Okay, right? So this is actually where you can quickly, okay, check the dimension, the size of your table. So if you click on manufacturer, you see it's updated. 15 columns, 6 rows, geo, product table, and sales. Okay, that's how you can quickly check the dimension. Okay, right? So now let's go back to international sales. Okay, so again, we need to update the zip column. Okay, we need to change the zip column data type. So at the moment, by default, it will be using whole number. So we need to change it to text. So click on the icon next to zip and then change it to text. Okay, when pop up, click on replace current. Okay, replace current. Okay, right. So now you already changed the data type for the zip column to text so that you can see the 0 later on. Okay, and it's also because later on we're going to use this column and map it, okay, and connect it to our sales, okay, because we are going to use that number later on, okay, to link it. So it must be of the same type. If one number, one text cannot, it must be of the same type. Name is different is okay actually, but type must be the same. Okay, so far so good. Anyone? everyone? Okay, so now we are already completed step 37. 37. Good. Halfway. Okay. So now it's almost 10:30. Okay, almost 10:30. Okay. So I think we're gonna stop for your break now. 15 minutes. Okay. I'll give you time to take your break. Okay, because the next step actually will take more than 3 minutes. So I don't wanna continue with that. Okay, let's stop for your break now. 10:30. Okay, and then come back at 10:45. Then we're gonna continue with step 38. Okay, after the break, we're going to start with step 38. Okay, right. So everybody enjoy your break. I'll see you back at 10:45. Thank you, Olivia. Right, see you back then. Enjoy your break.
Sorry,
Yes.
I have a question. I'm having trouble like your tab now, right? International sales.
Mhm.
But how do you change it? Because mine is showing product sales, product table, geo, manufacturer,
Oh, you mean
and
the
then the last
sequence?
one, yes,
The sequence
it's
doesn't matter.
showing a product.
Oh, you don't have product table.
I have product table, but the second one is geo, the
Uh-huh.
third one is manufacturer, and
Uh-huh.
then the fourth one is showing product, but it's not showing international sales as your.
Okay, so when you do the previous step, did you
Okay,
actually follow the same one? Okay, we go to folder.
folder.
Yeah,
Get
basically
data, is
that.
it?
Yes.
Should I go under get data? Right, get data, and then
Is it possible that you actually missed that steps? That's why you don't have
yes, yes,
international.
I believe so. How
Ah,
to go
okay.
back actually? Should
Okay.
I?
All right. Just for you. Okay. I'm going to delete this one. So I'm going to do it again for you. Right. So let me just delete this one
Uh,
as well.
can you help me as well, please? Even I'm actually stuck at a certain place. Uh, After sales, my Power BI is showing some different setting. I'm not able to actually go to, the BI dimensions. I'm not able to insert that tab into the Power BI. Can you help me, please?
Okay. Because you both actually at different state. So let me just do one by one. Okay. Let me just do one by one. Okay.
Thank
Right.
you.
Okay. Because okay, I'm
But the
gonna.
first one, can we just move the one the tab actually from the query? I think you can actually just move it. Would it be all right?
Okay.
Since
Okay.
it's
Okay.
the sequence is different.
Okay, okay, okay. For the benefits of everyone, okay, I'm just going to start from zero. So everybody, please pay attention. For those who are not going for the break, okay, right? So just please
Thanks.
attention, especially for two of you, the one that missing. So I'm going to close this one. Okay. So I don't want to have this data loaded yet. So again, please pay attention from step one until currently the last one, step 37. So first we need to load the CSV file. Okay, so we click on get data and then CSV. Okay, right. So the file that we want to load is actually US sales data. Okay, right. So this is the file. It is CSV file and then click open. Okay, now it will actually show a preview of the data and then we just click transform data. That's where you're going to see the Power Query Editor loaded. Okay, right. Next, we need to add the Excel file that contains the 3 additional tables. Okay, so to do that, click on New, still inside Power Query Editor, New, and then Excel Workbook. And then you select still inside the US sales folder and then by dimension Excel worksheet, click open. Okay, so now you will see this navigator pop up. So from here, you need to select three, okay, three so-called table. Okay, so you select the first one, product table, geo, and manufacturer. Three. And then click OK. Right, so it will load it to your Power Query Editor. Now you will see four. That's how you get the first four here. Okay. Did you see where you're missing the steps? Okay. And the last one is actually to get the international sales. The one we need to load from the folder. Okay, so we need to go to new source once again, and then we need to go to more. Okay, under all here, we need to select folder, and then click connect. So this time we need to get the data from the international sales folder. So you see here data, international sales folder. Okay, so select the folder, click OK, click OK once again. Then you see this pop up. Just click combine and transform data. So what it will do, it will combine the contents of these 6 files into one. Okay, right. And then after that, okay, it will pop up another window. Okay, so this one, nothing much for you, just preview the data and then click OK. So that's how we ended up with 5 queries or 5 tables actually. So you most probably missing some of the steps actually earlier. Okay,
Okay, got
right?
it.
Okay,
Uh, can I ask you one question, please?
yes.
So I'm getting combine and transform data. Should I click on that or should I click on transform data?
Combine and transform.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much. This has been very
no
helpful.
problem. Okay, so I'm also going to take my break. I'll see you back at 10:45. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Right, so got question here. In BI dimensions, there are 3 tabs. Okay, why there are 4 options? Okay, easy question. Okay, first you might want, in actual situation, you might want to open out the file and see the contents first. Okay, so again, make it a practice later on with when you are working with your own data. Okay, if it's a file, open it. Okay, open it first. Okay, open it first. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so you see here, we have 3 worksheet. We have 3 worksheet. Okay, so basically only contains 3 data, product, manufacturer, and job. 3 data. Okay, I'm going to close this one. So now your questions, why you have 4 there? So if you look at the names carefully, okay, you have product and product table. Okay, so the job, manufacturer, and product are basically referring to the worksheet, and the product table is actually where one of the worksheet, the data already formatted as table, Excel table. Okay, right. So if you look at the icon also, you see the product table has different icon. Okay, it's a table icon. Okay, now you know why you have 4 instead of 3. Only 3 you need to select. Okay, so product table and product are actually the same data. It's just that one actually already formatted as table. Okay, clear on that one, right? Reshare, we mean my screen. Some of you cannot see my screen, is it?
No, we can see your screen.
Oh, okay, so I don't know why someone here actually asked me to reshare. Okay. Okay. Maybe I can just ignore that. Geo table. We haven't done anything to any of the tables. So if you want to see mine, okay, this is how it looks like.
Okay. Because I was
Okay.
wondering why the field name is under row 3.
We haven't done anything actually. We haven't done anything. Okay. Right. So people, let's continue. Now we are going to continue with step 38. Okay. Step 38. International work should not load all the CSV countries. Okay, I'm trying to understand the question here. International sales, you mean here, it will contain data from all 6 CSV files. Okay, CSV files, right? It's just that here you don't see the other countries because if you see here, it only displays the first 1,000 rows. But your data is there actually. Okay, your data is done. Okay, it only is displaying up to 1,000 rows. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, now step 38. Right, so we need to do something to the international sales table. Okay, if you look at the column, we have 7 columns here. The first column is the source name. Okay, source name basically means the file name. We are not going to use the data from this column. Okay. Right, so we're gonna remove this column. So there are a few ways to remove the columns. Okay, first one, of course, select the column first, and then in the home ribbon, you can see here, manage column. You have remove columns here, but I usually do it this way because it's the quickest way. Right click, remove. That's it. Okay, that's how you can quickly remove columns. Okay, right click, remove, but do not remove this product ID, only remove the source name. Okay, so now you have 6 columns, and you see just now when we remove the column, okay, the first column, okay, the step is actually added. So if you actually click on the next, the cross next to it, okay, it will undo. It will undo. So I remove once again, then it will be listed here. So now we want the 6 columns only. Why 6 column? Okay, so remember this is sales data. We have another sales data in this query. Okay, in this query. And you look at the number of columns, we have 5 here. Okay, later on we're going to combine these 2 tables together actually. We're going to combine these 2 tables together. Okay, because this one contains sales for US only. International sales contains data from other countries. So you have this country column. Okay, you have additional here. Okay, we're going to do something about it later. Okay, we're going to do something about it later. Okay, so now 38 is done. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're going to move on to the next task, which is Power BI desktop data preparation. Okay, data preparation on page 21 here now. Okay, page 21. Okay, right. So we are going to do the first one, renaming tables. Okay, we're going to rename the tables one by one. So if you look at step A, right? So it's step 40. Okay, step 40. Okay, right, let me see the screenshot. There is a sign next to sales inquiry. Ah, it's actually like error. Okay, it's actually like an error. Okay, so if you click on sales, what do you have? If you click on sales, okay, what message appeared in your screen? Okay, it's actually an error actually. Most probably because it's actually cannot load the data. Okay, if you click on sales, do you see any message displayed? The column product ID wasn't found. Details. Okay. Um, you can just remove sales and then load it back. Okay, you can just remove sales and then load it back. Okay, right. What I'm trying to say to you, Nicholas, you can just um, okay, check the steps first. Okay, maybe you have additional steps here that causing it, which I'm not sure what is it actually, right? So if you can see here, I only have three: source, promoted headers, and change type. If you have additional one, that could be the reason why you have that error actually. Okay, you can try to undo some of the steps, remove the steps actually. Okay, so at this point, we haven't done anything, okay, except changing the zip type, zip data type actually. Okay, right, so John, this is the view I can only see. Let me just expand it. Sales, product table, geo manufacturer. Correct, that's correct. Okay, that's correct. Okay, right. So okay, let's move on. Okay, now we need to rename the table. So you see here, okay, in the screenshot, sorry, in the table, okay, step 40 now, right? So I'm going to screenshot that one and paste it in the chat box just for everyone's reference. So we're going to rename the table. Okay, we're going to rename the table. Okay, so let's do that, everyone. So first, okay, how can you rename the table? Sales here, we're not going to do anything because it's already called sales. Let's go to product table. Okay, so we need to change it to product. Okay, so one way to change the name, you can go to query settings on the right hand side under properties name, change it to product. Okay, I'm going to remove underscore table and then enter. That's one way to rename your table. Okay. Another way to rename your table. So now we're going to do geo. Okay. Geo, we need to change it to geography. Okay. So you can right click geo and then rename. Okay. That's another way. Okay. So type there geography, enter. Right. Now it's renamed. Okay. So you have two ways. One, you go to query settings properties, rename, or you right click, rename. Okay, I'm going to show you another way to do rename. Okay, now we need to change manufacturer with manufacturer capital M. Okay, you go to manufacturer, double click, then you can also rename it from here. So change capital M, enter. So at least you have three ways to rename your table actually. No changes from my view. Okay, depending on what you do, no changes from my view on what you are
Yeah.
doing. It's
When you were
lagging.
doing the
It's
demo,
lagging.
we
Hmm?
don't see any changes like the geo you already mentioned. You updated it to geography, but I'm still seeing geo in my screen on what you're
Okay,
sharing.
Okay, I'll try to reshare my screen once again, see whether you can see the screen updated or not. How about now?
Waiting, just loading.
Okay, it could be connection actually.
Yep, I think majority of the people joining the call is doing thumbs up, so I think they can see it now. It's probably my internet connection.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, good, thank you.
Right, okay, no problem. And then we have one more table, international sales. We need to rename it to international sales with a space. Okay, so I'm going to double click and then put a space there. Space and then enter. So now we have successfully renamed all the tables. So you will see this, okay, at the end of the steps actually. So I'm going to screenshot, okay, and put it in the chat box for your reference. Okay, this is what you should have actually. Okay, so remember the transform file from international folder, you can just minimize. We are not going to use it at all, okay, for this lab. Okay, we are not going to use it at all for this lab. Okay, so we've done that part. Next, we're going to continue with the next task, which is to fill empty values. Okay, which is to fill empty values. Okay, right. So next, everybody, we're going to start with step 41. Okay, step 41. Okay, so step 41, we need to go to product table. So everybody click on product table, and especially you look at category column, you will see null. Okay, you will see null. Okay, so there are few ways you can actually fix the value. Okay, right, fix this one. Okay, you can either replace the value or can you do fill. Okay, you can do fill values actually. Okay, so the one that we're going to do is called fill. Okay, how to do the fill? Okay, now everybody, we're going to do step 42. Okay, we're going to do fill down. Okay, fill down. Okay, so make sure first you select category column. Make sure this one selected first. Okay, make sure category is selected. Click on it. Okay, and then if you follow the steps, okay, you can go to transform and then you need to find fill. This one under any column group, you go to fill and then you have options here down or up. For the steps, you need to select down and then you see what happened to your columns. Okay, so I'm going to undo it once again. So you see what happened here, you will refill or you will replace the null value here with the value of the preceding cell. In this case, it will take mix and then replace, and then what is this rural? It will take rural and then replace. That's what it means by fill down. Fill up is the other way around. Okay, fill up is the other way around. If you want to try, can, let's sample, up, see? Okay, but then again, we don't want to do fill up, we want to do fill down for this time. Okay, so that's how you can fix the null cells actually in your column. Clear on this one? Okay, another way you can do that is actually, okay, of course, okay, right click. Okay, so I usually just use right click because all the operations I want to perform is actually here. But your notes, actually, your lab is actually asking you to go to the ribbon. Also fine, actually. Okay, so another way to do fill, okay, I right click the column and then down. That will do exactly the same thing, actually. Okay, so now we've done step 42, right? Okay, now everybody, okay, this one is done. Okay, now I want you to look at product column. Can you fill down with series like 1 to 10? You mean like you want to replace values instead, is it? You mean like 1, 2, 3 until 10 and then replace it, something like that, is it? When you do ranking. Okay. Depending on the data. Okay, I think depending on the data, you might actually, because how you do ranking, obviously you need to check some other conditions, right? Like example, maybe like example lah, okay, other columns contain some values, and based on that, then only you can do the ranking, so-called. I think that one best is to use expression. Okay, best to do use expression instead of just fill values actually. Okay, the one you might need to write some formula for that. Okay, you might want to write some formula for that actually. Okay, right. Okay, so everybody, we're going to do the next one. Okay, product. So you see here in the product column here, we have two values actually. You see here the first row, Abbas MA01 and then pipe, the straight line there, pipe symbol, and then all season. So we're going to split this value actually. So we're going to split the value because one is actually the product and the other one is actually the segment. Okay, the segment. Okay, right, segment or segment or category. Okay, segment, sorry. Okay, product and segment. So we are going to split the values. Okay, so at the moment, just to show you, at the moment we have 5 columns. After we do split, we're going to have 6 columns. Okay, so how to do split? Again, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. Okay, right click product column. Okay, right click product column and then you look for split column. Okay, you have few options here. So the one that we want to use is by delimiter. Okay, right. So now you see split column by delimiter. Okay, the first drop down here it says custom. Okay, you can actually click on it. Okay, but by default they only have colon, comma, equal sign, semicolon, space, and tab. We are not actually using any of those actually. So we're going to select custom and then hyphen here you remove and then you replace it with a pipe, the vertical line. Okay, the vertical line. The rest no need to change anything and then just click OK. Now you will see the value is splitted and you have additional column created. Okay, got it? Okay, great. So now you have two columns, product.1 and product.2. We need to rename it. So everybody, we are now going to go to step 48. Wow, jumping, Step 48. Okay, step 48, 49, 50, and 51. We need to rename the column. Okay, so product.1. Okay, how to rename column? Quickest way, double click. Okay, double click. Now you can rename it. Or you can right click and rename. No, I couldn't find rename here. Okay, right. So quickest way, double click, then rename it to product. Enter. Okay, that's how you rename column. You see, it's added here in the applied steps. Okay, you need to rename the product.2 column to segment. Step 51. Double click, change to segment. Enter. Okay, now everything looks good. So you have 6 columns. Product ID, product, segment, category, manufacturer ID, and price. Okay, anybody got different thing on their screen? Good. Okay. Now we need to do another split. Okay, we need to do another split. So now everybody look at column price. Column price, this one. Okay, so you see here the column contains two values. One is the currency, the other one is the price itself. And you look at the data type, it's ABC, means tax. This is actually going to be a problem for us later. Because why? If it's actually a tax, okay, this is a price number, right? Okay, but because the type is tax, you cannot do calculation later. Okay, you cannot do calculation later. You can't actually change the data type here to currency, which is this fixed decimal number, because you will get error. Okay, so what you need to do is to split the values first. You need to split the values, take out the currency and take out the price so that later on you can change the data type, then you can use it in your report. Okay, so this is actually another way to do split. Okay, because just now a simple split because delimiter, but this one we're going to do it different way. Okay, so everybody, okay, so step 53. Okay, step 53. We are still working in product table. Okay, step 53. Everybody look at add column ribbon. Okay, add column ribbon. Okay, and then you look at general group. Okay, we're going to select column from example. Okay, so do not click on the icon, click on the arrow. Okay, you have two options here. One is from all columns and the other one from selection. So select from all columns, then it will come up like this. So what is this column from example? So we are going to create a new column and the value will be scanned or extracted from the other columns in your table. That's what it do. Okay, that's what it does actually. Okay, right. So the first one, we want to extract the price. Okay, the price. Okay, so next step is step 54. Okay, right. Step 54, everybody. Okay, so you see here column 1, double click the row below it actually. Okay, like that. Okay, do not click on column 1, but one row below it actually. So you need to enter a number, which is the price actually, 412 dot, okay, 13. If you see here, when I type, it's actually trying to extract the value for that particular row. Okay, so if I quickly move, this value actually. Okay, right, so double click once again, complete the number 1, 3, just a number, and then press enter. And then you see here, it will fill up or extract the value from price column, just the price. Just the price. Okay, right? So this how it's actually work actually. So you can quickly, you don't actually have to do it one by one. So you just use this column from examples and then write the first value for the first row, okay? And then it will fill up the value for you automatically, okay? Before we do anything, we need to change the column name, okay? We need to change the column name, okay? So click on text after delimiter, double click, and then change it to MSRP. Okay, I think recommended, okay, sales price actually, okay, sorry, price, okay, so press enter and then click OK. Okay, click OK. Now you will see it's only containing the numbers without the currency. Okay, but if you look at the data type, it's still showing ABC. We don't want ABC, we want numbers, okay, currency. So everybody click on ABC, change it to fixed decimal number, which is currency. Okay, now it's good, okay, to be used later on. Okay, we are not done yet. Okay, we still need to extract the currency here, USD, because different country might be using different currency. Okay, we have Germany, we have Australia, and so on. Okay, we need to extract the currency. So again, same steps. Okay, same steps, everybody. But before that, everybody got this one covered? Done this one?
Is it possible to repeat that once again? I missed a certain step and I'm still getting the USD.
Okay, so again, because of the limitation of the time, please try to pay attention when we're doing the demo, okay? Because we still have, okay, other things to cover today and we don't have a lot of time. Okay, if possible, try to focus first. Okay, so for you, I will try one more time, okay, to do it. Okay, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, so this is where we start earlier. Okay, so we're going to extract the value from this column, just the value, just the price. Okay, so to do that, go to add column. Okay, go to add column and then go to column from examples and then select from all columns. Okay, right? So now we're going to type the value from the first row here for 12.13. Okay, so double click the row below, okay, below column 1 header and type the number 412.13 and then press enter. Okay, that's how you got the value extracted. And before you apply, change the header to MSRP, enter to rename it, and then click OK. Right, and one final step is to change the data type to fixed decimal number. That's how we got it. Okay. So for the rest, we are going to repeat the same steps, but this time we're going to extract the currency, which is the USD. Okay, so again, now we are actually at step 59. Okay, you might want to open up the lab instructions so that you know what we're doing actually. Okay, so lab 59, we're going to extract the currency. So still in the same ribbon, okay, right? Still have product table selected. Okay, at the add column ribbon, go to column from example from all columns, same steps. But this time we're going to extract, okay, we're going to extract the currency. So the first row here is USD, right? So make sure you are actually at the first row, double click and then just enter USD, and then enter. Now you will have the currency only extracted. Okay, before you click OK, change the header to currency. Currency, enter, and then click OK. Right? So now you have 2 additional table added to your table. Right? Okay. So the currency, no need to change the data type. We are going to use text here. Okay, since now you have the values extracted from this column. Okay, and after this, we're only going to use values from this column. This column are no longer needed. So we're going to remove it. Okay, we're going to remove it. Okay, so right click price column and then remove. Now you have only 7 columns. Okay, product ID, product segment, category, manufacturer ID, MSRP, and currency. Okay, so now we have completed step 64. Okay, step 64. Okay, right. So next we're going to move on to the next table, which is geography. So up to this point, everybody got something similar to mine here? Okay, right. Great. Good job, everybody. Okay, good job, everybody. So I want to give you applause. Okay, good job. Okay, right. So it's good, right? When you see something is actually working. Okay, right. Okay, everybody. Now, next up, we want to remove rows. Okay, some of the tables contain some not very useful information. We want to remove it. Okay, so the first table that we're going to work on is geography. Now, everybody, step 65. Select geography. Select geography. Somebody asked me just now, right? What is this information? Okay, the first row here is not really useful information. We're gonna remove it. Okay, so how to remove these first two rows? Okay, the quickest way, right? Not really the quickest way lah. Okay, let's just do it. Okay, as your instruction asks you to do. So go to home. Okay, home here, and then you find reduce rows group. Okay, reduce rows group. Group, sorry. Okay, you have keep rows and remove rows. Select remove rows, click on the arrow, then you have few options. Okay, so the one that we want to select is the first one, remove top rows. Then it will prompt you and ask how many rows you want to remove. So we want to remove the first two. Okay, so put number 2 there. Okay, number 2 there. And then click OK. Right? Okay, so now it's already removed the first two rows and you can see it's added to the applied steps here. Okay, right. And then after that, you look at the data. Okay, the column is not a very useful name. Okay, in fact, the column name is actually on the first row. And some of you already know what to do next, I think. Okay, that is to convert the first row to become the header. Okay, so to do that, again, make sure geography table already selected. Still in home ribbon, go to transform group here and then select use first row as header. Click on the name itself. Do not click on the arrow. Okay, arrow got different thing, right? So you click on the item itself. Now it will convert the first row to become header. Now it looks like a better table now. Okay, right? So at the end of the day, you should have 6 columns. Okay, with the correct name, and then that's it. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so that one basically should be step 69. Next, we're going to do step 70. So everybody look at your zip column. It's still showing number. We need to do something about it. What is it? Change it to text. So step 70, change zip column data type to text. Okay, this one I think everybody knows how to do it already. So click on the 1, 2, 3, change to text pop-up, replace current. Okay, done. Okay, right? So geography looks good. We don't have to do anything, okay, yet. Okay, this one actually from your lab, you don't have to do anything here. Okay, but let's say in your actual situation, you might want to extract okay values from this column. Okay, so later on when you have time, maybe you can actually work on this data. But at this point, we're just going to leave it like this actually. We're just going to leave it like this. Okay, so now everybody, let's move on to the next table to clean up. Okay, 72, step 72, manufacturer. Okay, manufacturer. So you see here, we have 15 columns. So if you really look, okay, it's actually a bit funny, this table. Okay, it's a bit funny. Okay, right, a bit funny. Okay, so first we need to remove rows as well, but this time we want to remove the bottom rows. Okay, so we're going to remove the bottom rows from this table. Okay, so again, home ribbon, go to reduce rows group, click on arrow, remove rows. This time you select remove bottom rows. How many rows? 3. Okay, step 74, you need to enter number 3. Number 3, and then okay. Right, so now you only have 3 rows. Again, this time you cannot use first row as header because the first row is not even a header. Okay, but actually the header is actually in the first column. Okay, the header is actually on the first column. So what we need to do, we need to transform or transpose. Okay, convert rows to column. Okay, convert rows to column. So how to do that? Okay, make sure still in manufacturer, go to transform. Under table group, you see there's transpose. Okay, you see here transpose. Okay, there's a small icon. Okay, you see here transpose this table, treating rows as columns and columns as rows. Click on it. Now it looks better. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, right. So now you can see the column names on the first row. So I think you know what to do already. Go back to home ribbon, transform group, use first row as header. Okay, then that's done. Okay, so you see the ID, the manufacturer name, and their logo. Okay, so that's basically that particular steps. Okay, so we have done step until step 78. Okay, until step 78. So far, so good? Any questions so far? Excellent. Good job, everyone. Applause. Right? Okay, good job. Right. So next, okay, we want to combine sales and international sales. Okay, we want to combine sales and international sales. Okay, remember these are actually sales
Yeah, can
data.
you repeat? Because just now my table got problem. I go to refresh again.
Which one you want me to do again, actually? Huh?
Transform one,
The
transform.
transpose.
Transpose.
This
Yeah.
one, manufacturer. Okay. Right. So I'm gonna undo. Okay. Wait, okay. This is the original data. Did you have the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the first step is to remove the bottom 3 rows. Okay, the bottom 3 rows. Okay, those young already completed, those who completed the steps, no need to do anything. Okay, only for you. Okay, right. So to reduce, sorry, not to remove the last 3 rows. Okay, in home ribbon, go to remove rows here and then select remove bottom rows. Okay, and then it will ask you how many rows. You enter 3, number 3, and then click OK. Okay, now you have 3 rows only, but the 3 rows are actually not really the actual data because the column names actually okay in the column 1. Okay, right? So we need to convert this table to transpose this table. Okay, from rows to column, column to rows. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so to do that, okay, you go to transform ribbon. Okay, so just below the transform ribbon name, you see transpose. Click on it. Now you will have something like this. Okay, right? So you will see, okay, the column names are actually on the first row. So we need to actually convert, okay, the first row to become headers. So to do that, okay, if you are currently in transform, we need to move to home ribbon and then click on use first row as headers. Click and then that's it. That's the final output actually for manufacturer. Did you get it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Thank you.
So no problem. Okay, so next, everybody, we're going to combine sales and international sales. But before we do that, so sales currently has 5 columns. No matter how many rows, just look at the columns first. Okay, right? So we have 5 columns. International sales, we have 6 columns. Okay, remember, right? So now let's do the append. Okay, so first you select sales. Okay, you select sales query first. To do append, go to home ribbon. Okay, go to home ribbon and then you look for combine group on the right hand side here. You have merge and append, right? So select append. Okay, select append. Okay, just click on it. Okay, just click on it. And then you will see this pop up says 2 table or 3 or more table. So we're only going to combine or append 2 tables. So just leave to default values. Table to append, select from the drop down, you select international sales. Okay, this one, if you want to look at the step, we are currently at step 82. Okay, we select 82. Okay, and then after that, click OK. Right, so now you see, okay, it's actually take international data and put it into sales. So if you look at the dimension on the left bottom here, your sales table now contains 6 columns, and you can see the column added called country. Call country. Okay, call country. Okay, right? So later on, okay, we are going to work with data from this table. We're no longer going to use international sales. Okay, we're not going to use the international sales. Okay, so if you want to read the description, okay, just before step 83, okay, so you will see the column country. Okay, so we actually see there's null here. There's null here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to replace. Okay, but if you do right click replace values, then you will get error because why some of the countries are actually already filled up with the correct values. Only the USA don't have values actually. Only USA don't have values. So we need to actually write some condition actually. Okay, some condition, okay, for our USA countries or record actually. Okay, so to do that, everybody, we're going to add another column and we're going to write some expression to do that. Okay, so step 83, everybody, step 83. Okay, from the ribbon, go to add column. Now we move on to this one. Okay, and then just below the add column name, you see conditional column. Click on it. Okay, right? So now you see we need to give it a name. Okay, what is conditional column? So for some of you who are not familiar with DAX expression, the formula, you can use this one because this is just a wizard actually. This is just a wizard. So when you use this wizard, after that it will be translated to expression for you. Okay, right? Okay, right. So right, just type the name. Okay, if you follow now, it's actually step 84. Okay, change it to country name. One word. Okay, right, change the column name, new column name to country name. Okay, and then here, step 85. Okay, step 85, under column name drop down, you select country. Okay, select country. Okay, and then after that, you can actually see, okay, the screenshot in your lab instruction under step 91 actually. So we need to do the same thing like that. Okay, so operator equals, value is null. Okay, and then this one you put USA. Okay, you put USA, right? And then after that, okay, here, sorry, this one, you click ABC123 drop down here, you click, and then you select a column. And then here you select country. So this is how it should look like actually. Okay, exactly like the screenshot in your lab steps under step 91 on page 35. Okay, on page 35. Okay, so if everything is good, click OK. Now you will see you no longer have null values. How can you actually ensure you no longer have null values? Okay, I'll show you the quickest way actually. So if you see here, just below the header names, can you see a thick green line? If you mouse over, okay, you see? That's how you can quickly check the quality. Okay, if you can't do that, okay, there's another way actually. There's another way for you to see that actually. So everybody, because this one is actually not listed in your steps, okay, but I'm just going to show you anyway. Okay, you go to view. Okay, you go to view. Okay, view ribbon. Okay, under data preview here. Okay, you see column quality. Check. There you go. Okay. Right, so you see here, because remember they only show up to 1,000 rows. So for country here, up to 1,000 rows, it only contains null. Okay, but now you can see after we run the condition just now, you no longer have empty. Okay, everything is filled up. So you can actually see it contains only valid value. Okay, so that's how you can quickly check the quality of your data, whether you got empty or not. Okay, empty or not. Okay, so if you want later on, maybe you can do this as well. Okay, you also can click on column distribution, okay, whether it's unique or not. Okay, you can also click on the color column profile. Okay, so you can see here, okay, this one no cannot. Let's click on zip. There you can see all the values, okay, in that particular column. Okay, this one just to show you lah. Okay, just to show you actually. Okay, this is actually not part of your lab steps actually, but just to show you actually. So this one you can just untick it. Okay, right. So now we already done step 91. Okay, so now you have the country name, okay, column added. Okay, so we are no longer going to use country column because it's containing null. So we're going to remove it. Okay, we're going to remove country column, right click remove, and country name now, we're going to change it to country. Okay, country, and then change the type to text. That's all you need to do. Okay, so we already done, okay, up to step 695. Okay, 95. Okay, right. And then revenue, we need to do one more thing. Okay, if you look at revenue here, it's actually not using the correct data type. It's actually showing decimal number. Okay, revenue is currency. Okay, revenue is currency. So change the data type to fixed decimal number. Okay, that's the next thing that you need to do. Okay, that's the thing you need to do actually. Right. Okay, so now, okay, if you go back to country column, okay, you can only see USA at the moment. Okay, sometimes you want to see data, you want to do filtering. So this one is something similar to Excel. Okay, when it comes to filter, this is something. Again, this is optional step, but I'm just going to show you anyway, right? So you click on the arrow in the country column. Okay, you see here, this is very similar to Excel, right? Same thing. But the point here is actually at the moment because Power Query Editor only scan up to 1,000. So you don't see other countries listed here. Okay, you don't see other countries listed here. Can you see here? This may be incomplete. So if you want to see other countries, you can click load more. Okay, now it will take some time to load. Okay, right. And after it's done, you will see data from other countries. Okay, it means that the other country's name actually. Then you can do your filtering. But again, this one you don't have to do it now. Okay, just to show you actually, okay, how you can actually load other countries. Okay, because again, limitation because they only scan up to 1,000. Why? Because they don't want to make it so slow, actually heavy. Okay, right? No need to do anything here actually. Just click cancel. Okay, so we almost done with lab one actually. Wow. Okay, right. So now you have all the data, okay, so-called prepared. It's just that later on, okay, we don't want this international sales to be loaded to our report because all the data from this table, we already appended to sales. So in Power Query Editor, you can actually configure the table not to be loaded into your report. So after this, you're going to have only 4 tables loaded. So we don't want international sales to be loaded. Oh yeah, correct. Thank you, Asia. You're very good, actually, very sharp eyes. Correct. Okay, so if I go back to sales, okay, my zip folder, zip here still number. Okay, everybody, let's change it to, maybe I'm missing some steps. Thank you. Okay, so let's change it to text. Okay, let's change it to text. Thank you. Okay, good job. Okay, very sharp eye. Okay, right. Anywhere else I forgot to change actually. Okay, so product ID, date, units, revenue, country. Let me just double check. Product, geography, manufacturer. Okay, all right. Okay, so now everybody, we want to disable this table to be loaded. Okay, there are a few ways to do it. Okay, if you look at your steps, okay, right, so actually now it's actually step 100, okay, step 100 on page 38. Okay, so actually ask you to right click international sales and then click on enable load here. Okay, do that. Okay, so now you see international sales will become italic. Italic. Okay, so another way to do that is actually to select the table name and go to query settings or properties. You can also see the options here actually, 2 ways. Okay, right, so make sure it's already disabled. Okay, make sure this one is not ticked. And then after that, we're going to save and apply the changes. Okay, but again, if you look at step 101 and 102, Okay, they have another one which basically nothing much, just to show you the query dependencies. Okay, so inside view ribbon, okay, you have the query dependencies. This one nothing much actually, just to show you where the data comes from actually. Okay, just to show you where the data comes from, the link and everything. Okay, right? Just overview. Okay, but we're not going to do anything here actually. Okay, we're not going to do anything. So just close it actually. So now everybody, we can load the data into Power BI desktop so that we can do second lab. Okay, lab 2. Okay, so to do that, go to home, ribbon, and then click on close and apply. Close and apply. Now it will load our data into our Power BI desktop. So this one will take some time to load. Okay, so this one will take some time to load. So that's why I said if you are working with large file, large data, then the loading time will become more actually. Okay, right? So maybe when you are doing reporting, just to prepare the report, you just want to work with small data set instead of the whole thing, because it will definitely affect the loading time. Okay, so as you can see here, it's still loading. So this one we cannot do anything, just wait. Okay, so far so good. So technically we have completed the first one, okay, the first lab. Okay, so good job everyone. So applause. Yay, okay, so now we just have to wait this one for okay to complete actually. Okay, right. So any questions up to this one? I actually saw one raised hand. Yes, who is that actually? You have questions? Amy, you have questions?
No, no, accident.
It's okay. It's okay. I thought you had questions. Right. Okay. So maybe this one will take some time. So everybody, maybe you can just take some quick sip of your coffee or just quickly reply some messages or what for this one to load actually. Okay. So we can't do much actually here. Okay. Why you don't want to upload international sales table? Because the data we already appended to sales. Why need to load it twice? Okay, if you remember just now, we already append the data from international sales into sales table. So instead of working with two tables, we can just work with single table that contains everything. Correct, right? Yes, in a way, yes. Okay, you have less data to be loaded. And another thing is actually because you're definitely not going to use international sales anymore. So why waste your resources to load the data that you are not going to use in your report? That's, I think, the best explanation. So the point here is actually only load data that you are going to use, okay, in your report. Okay, the one that you are not going to use, no need to load it. I cannot get USA in country name. Okay, hold on now, I got some error here. Why I got error here? Eh, no error. Okay, I think I might need to close the previous some of it actually because I have two here actually created. I actually don't know why. Okay. So it's actually loaded back my Power Query editor because apparently I have error just now. Let's just try to see what's the error here actually. Okay, I see it's very, very slow. And I don't have anything else open. As you can see here, only my PowerPoint, my team, and my Power BI. That's it. So if imagine if I actually have other applications open, then it might be slower. Okay, it might be slower. But at this point, I think I will just have to wait. Okay, what is the problem here? Okay, so for Chong Mei Mei, you cannot get USA in country name. Did you actually miss any steps? I think you, yes. Okay, most probably you missed some steps actually. So that one, okay, wait, let me scroll back. You might want to refer back to, kejap let me find it. Okay, you might want to refer to page, wait. You might want to refer to page 34. Okay, 34, steps 83 onwards. You might actually miss some of the steps there. Okay, so you might want to trace back, okay, back to step 83. Okay, that's where we actually get the USA value. Okay, so for you, you need to do, I can't do that actually. You can see my screen is actually still loading. Okay, right, so you go back to step 83. Okay, step 83 and try to trace back your steps. Maybe you are missing some of the steps there actually. Right? Okay, what is happening here actually? Right. Okay, I actually want to try to apply it one more time. Okay, let's try to apply the changes. Okay, I actually don't know what's happening, but let's just see whether my data in sales is actually completed or not. So I go to table view. Okay, as long as I can see all the countries, then I think should be okay. So I can just ignore just now the error. Okay, but I can see actually here I have some missing values. Maybe that's why. Sorry, wrong table. Sales. Okay, looks good. So don't know what happened just now. Okay, so everybody, did you get your data loaded successfully without any problem? And if you see on the data pane, data pane, now you have 4 tables: geography, manufacturer, product, and sales. Loading, still loading. Okay, need to wait then. Okay, if it's still loading, then need to wait. Okay, Anna, you have error. Did you actually have some error like mine as well? Okay, so no worries. Okay, if you actually have the Power Query editor open, maybe you can try what I did just now. I just go to home ribbon. Okay, let me just show it here. Okay, go to home ribbon. I do have error here. I just ignore it. Okay, I'll just ignore it because I don't want to wait. Okay, else everybody have to wait as well. Okay, right. You just go back to this Power Query editor. Okay, I think you do have it because just now I can see it too here, display. And then you just try close and apply one more time. Okay, and if it's actually being prompted to apply, so after you click that, you see the yellow bar, okay, at the top of your report view here, you just click apply. And just click apply. Monica, okay, my load is very slow. We are finished with lab 1. Can I use solution? Yes, definitely can. Okay, so for those who have problem with the loading time, for the next lab, you can just load the file from the solution, not a problem, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, we can definitely use the solution. So I think, okay, let's take 5 minutes break. Okay, let's just a quick 5 minutes break. Okay, because I also need to go to washroom quickly. Okay, and then we will do lab number 2. Okay, so for those who have their data loaded, you can just keep this one open. Okay, you can just keep this one open. And then for those who don't have it loaded, you can, later on, I will let you know which lab you can actually load to continue with lab number 2. Okay, to continue with lab number 2. Okay, so let's take 5 minutes break. Tentatively come back at 11:45. Okay, 11:45. Anna, can you write down the step? It's a very quick one, actually. Okay, so if you have error, Anna, what I want you to see, okay, when you click on the icon Power BI here, how many you see when you mouse over? Sorry, how many you have? Okay, so you have like if you have like mine just now, I have 2. Okay, or if you don't have, not a problem as well. In your Power BI desktop, you just click on transform here. Okay, then you will see errors running actually just now. Okay, errors running just now. Okay, now I can actually see the actual error, which I'm going to fix it later. Okay, I don't want to do it now. So what I meant just now, actually, you can try to click close and apply one more time and see if it's working this time. Just that. Okay, just that. Okay. How to go back to Power Query Editor? Okay, in the Power BI desktop, home ribbon, queries group, transform data. That's how you go back to Power Query Editor. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go away for a while. Okay, 5 minutes. I need to go to the washroom. Okay, be right back. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, my iPad is not charging. Okay, right, let's see, got messages or not. I've got a notification regarding auto recovery. I think you can just safely ignore at the moment. Okay, Right? You can
Asma,
just
how did
simply
you check all the country values, Asma? You clicked on some down, what was a list
uh
option, and you were able to see all the countries.
let me just close this one first. If you mean in the Power Query editor or Power Query Power BI desktop actually?
I think it was in the editor. I'm not too sure because you were checking the error. You were saying that, okay, if I see all the countries, it should be okay for now. We can ignore
That
for now.
one uh,
You,
I checked in the
this,
Power BI desktop just now in the table view. Okay, so I can see the list of the countries here. You click on the drop down arrow here.
okay, thank you.
Okay, right? How to see how many errors I have after data loading. Hmm. Actually, if you have error, it will just pop up in the screen actually. Okay, right? If you don't see any errors, means there's no error. Okay, but if you want to check it in the Power Query editor, okay, then you will see something like mine here. Okay, right? But here is actually a very specific error, so only that particular column. So if you are actually asking how many errors, like in programming, we can see the list of errors. We don't have such that in here actually. Okay, we don't have that. Okay, right. So I'm just going to close it. Okay, so everybody, let's start lab number 2. Okay, so I'm just going to apply the changes. So let's open up step number 2. Okay, hold on. Let me just go to my folder to load the second lab instruction. Hold on, give me a second. Lab 2. Okay. Okay, lab 2 is data modeling and exploration. Okay, I think got some message. I don't have any error, but still fail to apply. I have 2 records with blank country values. Something missing? Yeah, maybe you're missing some of the steps actually. But it's okay, everybody. If some of your reports are actually having error, okay, it's okay. You can just use the solution, okay, to proceed with lab number 2. Remember, we have another lab we need to try out. Okay, so maybe later on after the class ended, you can try to trace the steps once again, one by one, see which one you're missing during the demo just now. Okay, because I really can't actually focus on lab 1 only. We still have another labs we need to go through. I'm so sorry about that because of the limitation of the time. Okay, right. So everybody, let's just proceed with lab number 2. Okay, lab number 2. Okay, let me just go back to my slides. Now we're going to do lab number 2, data modeling and exploration. Okay, we're going to do this one actually. Okay, so sorry, accidentally clicked it. Okay, so here we're going to do lab number 2. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to prepare our data, explore our data before we can actually use it for visualizations. Okay, so everybody, we're going to do lab number 2 here, data modeling and exploration. Okay, so for those who don't have their first lab completed successfully, don't worry. Okay, I'll show you which file you can open so that you can continue. Okay, so in your working directory, okay, you go to reports. Okay, so you have lab 1 solution. You can open that one up. Okay, you can open that one up. Okay, I'm actually opening as well. Okay, still loading. Okay, it's taking its own time to load. Okay, and still loading. Okay, so this is the solution from lab number 1. For those who don't have their lab 1 report completed successfully, got error or whatnot, don't worry. Okay, we still need to proceed with the next lab. You can use that lab 1 solution as a starter. Okay, you can use lab 1 solution as a starter. Okay, write a starter file. Load that one up. Okay, and when you see this one, you can just click on apply changes. Okay, so basically it will just update the data. That's it. Okay. Right. So everybody who don't get the first lab solutions or report completed successfully with errors or whatnot, it's okay. Just leave it. Okay, we are going to do lab 2 together. Okay, and to do that, you might want to open lab 1 solution and use it as a starter file. Okay, so the rest, okay, open up your lab instruction. Okay, so we're going to skip the first few case steps because it's just explaining the Power BI desktop, which I already mentioned earlier. So we're going to skip, okay, any. Okay, so we're going to skip to page 8. Okay, we're going to go to page 8 actually. Okay, page 8, Power BI desktop data exploration. Okay, skip to that part. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my report earlier. Okay, the other one, this one, eh? Right, so once loaded, okay, I think some of you, maybe this one's still loading. Okay, to be fair, I think you can just wait for it first. Okay, right? Depending on the machine, it might take some time to load actually, but here it's actually just trying to load the data from your source files actually, so that you can work with all data in your report later on. Okay, right? But the next step that we're going to perform, okay, is actually on page 8, okay, Power BI Desktop Data Exploration. That's what we're going to do. Okay, that's what we're going to do actually. Okay, so I have 2 reports open now actually. So I'm just going to use the previous one. Okay, or maybe this one, since I also got error just now. Okay, right. And then here, step 1, okay, on page 8, step 1, select the report view. Okay, by default, this is already selected. This is report view. Okay, right. And when it says navigation menu, basically this vertical bar, this is navigation menu. Okay, then next step 2, select the clustered column chart. Okay, from the visualization pane under build visual tab, you need to find clustered column chart. It's already pointed up which one. If you're not sure, you can just mouse over and it will display a tooltip, basically the name of the chart. Okay, so select this one and then it will be added. Okay, you just click one and then it will be added. And the moment you select that one and you see this one is selected because you got the square box around it, and then you will see this one also grayed out, means it's selected. So let's just try to click on the next one on the left, and you will see this one is selected. And this one also updated. Okay, change back to clustered column. Okay, now we need to add the data. Okay, we need to add the data. So before we proceed, okay, make sure your data pane here is expanded. If it's hidden like this, expand it so that you can see your tables. Okay, and then below the list of columns, charts here, you can see some properties. Okay, so we're going to put the data here. Okay, so now let's continue at step number 3. From the data pane to the right of the screen, expand geography. Expand. Okay, right, and then select checkbox next to the country. Country, select. Okay, the moment you do that, you don't see anything here except blank, but you can see the label, title, country. But the one I want you to see is actually under build visuals, x-axis property here, country is added. Country is added automatically on the x-axis. Okay, and then we need to add another data to fill up the y-axis. Step number 4, expand sales, this one. And then select the checkbox next to revenue. Revenue, click this one, you see it will be added automatically. Okay, and now you can see some. Okay, so I'm just going to resize it actually. Okay, I'm just going to resize it. Okay, let me make it bigger. You don't have to. Okay, I just make it bigger because it'll be easier. Right, so you will see, okay, the sum of revenue, but something funny here, because you see all countries have the same revenue, which is not logical. Okay, not logical. Okay, this is happening because we are actually getting data from 2 tables, table geography and table sales, and the data is not synced. They are not connected. They are not synced. Okay, so you see, this is one of the reasons why you need to do modeling. You need to link these 2 tables together. So when you actually go to model view, okay, right? So you see here, I'm gonna, you see, this is the table geography, okay, and it's not linked to any other tables. You have manufacturer, product, and sales connected, but geography is alone here. Is alone here actually. Okay, right? So you need to actually link these two tables together so that it can be synced, okay, to display the correct revenue by country. But at this point, if you try to link it, okay, if you try to link it, okay, there are a few ways to link the tables. Okay, the one that I'm going to show you first is basically like this. So if you click on manage relationship here, still in model view, still in model view, if you click on manage relationship here, and then it will come up with this manage relationships pop up. Okay, so here you can actually create new relationship. Okay, what is relationship? You want to connect these two tables together, right? So the connection is what we call relations. Okay, so click on new and select geography, the top one, and then the bottom one you select sales. Okay, so in order to link these two tables together, they need to have two columns that can be used to link them. In this case, we have zip. We have zip. So you click on the zip in geography, just select, click on it, then it's highlighted like this. And then under sales, you also click zip. But now you have messages. Okay, let's look at the messages here actually. Okay, so this relationship has cardinality many to many. This should only be used if it is expected that neither column contains unique values and the significantly different behavior of many relationship is understood. So we cannot proceed actually because this is not the right kind of relationship we want to create. So why do you have this issue? Because apparently, if you look at the description in your lab at step number 7, the reason why you have this error because geography here contains some duplicates data. Because apparently some states, some countries, they may actually some districts may have same postcode, zip code. So it's not unique. It's not unique. Okay, that's the reason why we have this message. So we don't want to proceed, just click cancel, just click close. Okay, right. So I see some messages. Rabiatul Izati, it's okay. Later we will fix that because mine also actually RM. It's actually our PC setting. That one we can change. No worries. Okay, because mine also in RM actually. Later we can change it. No worries. Okay, right. Okay, so everybody, now let's proceed to step number 9. Okay, step number 9 on page 10. Okay, so we need to create a new column in both the geography table and the sales table that combines the zip and country. So we need to modify the table. Okay, so let's go to report view first. Okay, report view. Okay, and then step number 10, within the data pane, this is data pane. Okay, so remember what we're going to do? We're going to create a new column that will combine the zip code and the country. Okay, zip code and the country. Okay, right. So within the data pane, okay, we need to go to sales table. Do not click on it. Okay, you just hover it or mouse over, then you will see this ellipse. Okay, click on it, and then you are going to select new column. If it's too difficult for you to do that, I'll show you another way to do it. Okay, you right click on sales column, and then you can see the same thing. Okay, the one I showed earlier is actually the steps from your lab instruction actually. Okay, so two ways, you click on the ellipse here and then new column, or the easiest way, right click sales, new column. Then it will open up the formula bar. Okay, it will open up the formula bar. So this one, we need to type the expression, the DAX expression. Okay, so on page 10, step 11, you see the one with the red color formula, you need to type it actually. Okay, so we type the name of the column, which is zip country, case sensitive, right? Right, and then after that, we type sales. Okay, we're going to select from the list, this one, and then we put ampersand. Ampersand means combine or concatenation. And then we're going to put comma and then another concatenation and then sales country. Okay, so if it's too difficult, I will copy this one into the chat box so that you can just paste it in the formula bar. Okay, so once done, okay, make sure your cursor in the expression bar, okay, formula bar, and then enter. Okay, that will execute the expression, and then waiting. Then you will see the zip code column is added. Don't worry if it's still there. Just make sure the column is added. And you can see the icon here. Okay, you have the fx means formula. It's actually an expression. Okay, it's actually generated by expression actually. Okay, so now that's how you create a new column, okay, for your table using the DAX expression. Step 11. Okay, so we are going to actually do the same thing actually, okay, right, with geography table. Okay, we need to do the same thing, okay, in geography table. So everybody got this one? Got error, failed to resolve name zip country. Is it a typo there? Is there any typo? Could be typo. Check again your expression. Make sure you don't have any typo actually. Okay, if it's actually still error, you can just delete that column. Okay, let's see here. I can just delete the column, delete, and then we can just redo. Okay, right click once again. I show you one more time. Right click sales, new column. Okay, right. So you see here, column on the left hand side is the name of the column, zip, country, equal sign. Equal sign means this is the value that you're going to assign to the column. So the value, we're going to get it from two columns. Okay, so if you look at here, when you type, or maybe you want to do control space or shift and something like that. Okay, so usually I just type and then it will come up with the list here. So I'm just going to use my arrow. Okay, just move to zip, enter, and then I press N, okay, ampersand, and then the comma, space, and then another N, and then type. And then this time I use my arrow to select country and then enter. So by doing that, you actually reduce typos actually, because you're always going to use the correct column name from the table in this case, okay? Because we want to use the value from this column and this column, okay? Right? So we're going to do the same thing to geography. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to geography, eh? Right? So now everybody on step 13 and 14. Okay, step 13 and 14. Okay, new column because it will add a column. Okay, and every row will have its own value in that column. Measure is just a single value. You don't have a measure added to your table. Okay, because if you see column, you can see here. And if you go to table view, you can see the column here. Measure, you won't see it here because measure is aggregated value. It's a single value. It's a dynamic value, just like a single value that you can use later. Okay. Right, so let's proceed. Step 13 and 14. Okay, right. Geography, right click. Right click geography, new column. Same thing, zip country, eh? But this time we're going to use column from geography. So zip country equal sign. This time you use geography. Geography, select zip, ampersand, and then the comma, and then ampersand, and then once again geography country. So let me just copy first and then press enter and paste the formula in the chat box for you. Okay. Right, so now you should have the two columns added, one in geography, one in zip country. Okay, now we can use this column to do the relationship. So at the moment, when you look at your clustered, okay, chart just now, okay, it's still actually showing something like this. So I'm just going to close this one, right? So it's actually still showing something like this. So I want you to see after you create the relationship, you want to see whether is there any changes or not to our visuals later on. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step 15. Okay, we're going to link these two tables together. So if you look at the steps 15 and 16, there's a screenshot there. We're going to link these two tables together, okay, using another method called drag and drop. Okay, so everybody, let's switch to model view. Okay, I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm going to move this one closer and I'm going to zoom in so that it'll be easier for you to see actually. Okay, and I'm going to resize it and resize it. Okay, now, okay, just now I showed you to use manage relationship to create relationship, right? Of course, there's another way lah, okay, to do it. Okay, how? We're going to use what we call drag and drop. Okay, in geography, select or click on zip country. Okay, do not release, drag and drop it on zip country in sales table. Okay, until you see something like this, and then read this. Then it will create the relationship. Okay, automatically for you. Okay, so when you mouse over, and then you will see the two columns highlighted. That's how you know which column is actually used to create the relationship actually between these two tables. Okay, so to see whether it's working or not, you switch back to report view and look at your charts. Now it's updated. Then you can actually see the correct revenue for each country. And that's why you need to do modeling. Can we do it in Power Query Editor to achieve the same outcome? Definitely can. Yes, definitely can. Okay, definitely can. Okay. So again, here, because we want to show you, you can also do that in Power BI desktop without going to Power Query Editor actually. But if you want to do that in Power Query Editor, definitely can. Okay. All right. So everybody got this? Good job. Okay, good job, everyone. Okay, where's my applause? Is there a difference if you drag from sales to geography? No. You mean that instead of from geography to sales, and then you want to drag from this one? No, no different. Okay, no different. You can try actually delete this one and then do it. Basically, no different. Okay, no different. Okay. Right. Okay, now, okay, if you look at page 13, step number 18, this one, okay, in your report view, this is just something optional actually, okay, right? This one actually just to show you, you can also do some changes to the way your visuals actually represented on the visuals setting itself. Okay, how can you see here? There are a few things. You can see when you select, okay, this one, deselect, when you mouse over, click, and then it select that particular visuals. And if you mouse over to the top, you see these more options. Click on it. They have few things that you can do actually. Okay, so you have export data if you want, okay, to take out the data. You have show as table. Okay, you can click it. Okay, right, go back. And the one that the instruction asks you to try out is actually you go to sort axis and you have options here because by default here it will sort. Okay, the axis means the country here, okay, by sum of revenue. You have options to do country here. Then it will be sorted differently. Okay, in this case, if you see here, when you do sort, you also have sort descending and sort ascending. So if you click ascending, okay, so this one is actually just optional steps. Okay, basically how you want to customize your view actually in this case. Okay, but this is just optional steps actually. Okay, but here because in the steps later on, you're always gonna see the charts looks like this. So I think even though it says do not make any changes, but I think everybody just change it to sort by country so that it will be easier for you to check your lab later on because all the visuals later on going to look like this actually. So just leave it to sort by country. Just leave it like this. Okay, just leave it like this. Okay, right? Okay, now, okay, if you remember, we have used so far clustered column chart. Okay, and if you look at the property, we have another item. We haven't assigned any data to it actually, which is legend. So this type of charts actually can take three different values actually, three different values. Some charts or some visuals only use two values, some only one. This time can take three. Okay, can take three actually. Okay, so now if you go to step number 19 on page 14, we need to add manufacturer. Okay, manufacturer column to legend here. So expand manufacturer. Okay, drag and drop it here. That's also another way for you to add the data. Okay, right. So now you will see the visuals updated because now for each country, the sales will be divided or grouped by the manufacturer. And you can see here the list of manufacturers. So if you want to make it bigger, you can just resize it actually, just like that. Okay, so now we can actually see the top manufacturer for each country. Let's say for Australia, the one that highest, of course, the blue color here, which is Van Asdel. Okay, same goes to USA. So Van Asdel is the highest one, the top manufacturer. Okay, you can quickly see it actually. Okay, right. So, ooh, why your chart is like that? Okay, let me see. Wait, see. Maybe you need to also show me the property here. Okay, let me see what is the property here actually. Okay, do you have something similar to mine? X-axis is country, Y-axis is sum of revenue, legend is manufacturer. Check. Maybe this one is a bit different. Okay, maybe check again here. Okay, maybe your configuration is not the same as mine actually. Okay, maybe you're missing some of the steps. Okay, let me just, okay, screenshot here. The only way for me to help you is actually if you can share your screen, or else it would be difficult. It will not be easier for me to troubleshoot like this actually. Okay, Henry. Okay, the easiest way for me to help you is actually if you can share your screen quickly.
I think I can't share the
You can't
share.
share.
Yeah, it's dim, the share screen.
Because if like this, is very difficult for me to help you to fix to troubleshoot the problem. Okay.
Okay, you can just proceed first. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe
Yeah.
it's some of the steps actually. Some of the steps may be missing actually. Okay. Maybe missing some of the steps. Maybe need to trace back the steps previously. Okay. But
Okay.
everybody, you should have something similar to this actually. Just the one in your lab. Okay. Steps. Okay. Step 20. Okay, so here the next step 21 is actually just try to try different types of visuals actually. Okay, so you see like I mentioned earlier, you can try out different visuals, okay, and see which one suits you better. Okay, because if you see here, it's too thin, right? The columns very thin. Okay, very difficult to see. Okay, sometimes lah. Okay, right. So make sure your visuals here is selected by making sure you have a line around it. Okay, if it says deselect, then you don't see the line around your visuals. Okay, make sure it's selected first. And then here, okay, in step 21, it's actually asks you to switch it to stack column chart. Click on it. Now you will see different representation. So I think this one looks better. Okay, because now it's not too thin. Okay, and we can see different measure represented by different color here. Okay, different color. Okay. Right? And then here, they also want us to try to do the sorting. Okay, so see, right, make sure we are using the correct, okay, settings. Okay, so step number 22, okay, you see here, sort the legend in descending order. Okay, so you go to the more options here. Now you have two options, sort axis and sort legend. So if you mouse over sort legend, this time we want to select sort descending. Step 22 on page 15. Okay, now you will see the visuals updated. Okay, right, so you can actually see, okay, this is how it's actually going to be sorted actually. Okay, but this is definitely optional lah. This is optional actually. This one again, they just want to show you, just now we sort the axis, now you can also sort the legend. Okay, you can also sort the legend. Okay, right, for this particular visuals. Okay, that's basically the purpose of the steps actually. Okay, right, that's basically the purpose of the steps. Okay, right? Okay, so now let's move on to step number 23. So if you see here, this particular visual is currently displaying all manufacturers. So sometimes you just want to see the top manufacturers. Okay, the one that is not performing, you're not interested, let's say. Okay, so usually when you are creating a report, you also need to decide what type of report that you're going to create. So maybe in this case, we just want to see the top 5 manufacturers. Okay, we have many manufacturers here, but we just want to focus on the top 5. So to do that, we can do filter. So again, this time we're going to start, okay, with filters pane here. This is the first time for this session for you to start using this filters pane. Okay, right. So now to do that, okay, right. So to do that, okay, right. So when you click on this one, wait, okay, so now you see under filters on this visual. So again, make sure this one is selected. Inside the filters pane, filters on this visual, you go to manufacturer, expand it like that. Okay, expand it like that. Okay, on manufacturer. So you see here, filter type at the moment by default is basic filtering. We want to change it to top N. Okay, we want to select top N. How many? Okay, you have top and bottom, right? So we want to see 5 top manufacturers. So type number 5 there. Okay, and here basically you want to write the condition, okay, on how you want to do the filtering, and you also need to specify which column you're going to apply this filter. So to do that, we need to drag this column, manufacturer, measure manufacturer, okay, and then you're going to drop it here. Okay, under manufacturer table, expand it, click on manufacturer, and then drop it here. Okay, like that. Okay, and then click apply filter. Now you only see the top 5. Okay, right, the top 5. Okay, manufacturers. Okay, top 5 manufacturers. I think I did it wrong actually. Wait, oh, revenue. Sorry, my bad. I read it wrongly. So not manufacturer because this is manufacturer column. Okay, sorry. Under sales, okay, revenue, and then drop it here. Okay, and then apply once again. No wonder it's a bit different, the visuals. Okay, now you only see 5 manufacturers, and then the visuals is only for the 5 selected or 5 top manufacturers only. So now we're gonna focus on these 5 only actually. So everybody got something similar. So up to this point, we already completed step 27. Okay, 27. Good. So again, the one that I want you to take out is actually the steps actually that we did earlier. Okay, the step, because when you are working with your data might be totally different thing. Correct, right? So the one that we want to take out from this activity is the steps. Okay, this one is actually to guide you to explore all the features that you can use when you are exploring your data. Okay, right? Okay, so next step 28 is actually just to do some formatting. Okay, just to do some formatting. We haven't tried out this format visuals actually. So step number 28. Okay, so we're going to click on this format your visuals. Okay, format your visuals. Okay, so for this one, we want to do something on this x-axis. Okay, so you expand x-axis. Okay, so you can actually do some condition. This one, feel free to try out actually. If you don't want to use the default font, which is Sego UI, you can change it to different font. You can also change the size if you want. Okay, and you can also change the color if you want. Totally up to you. Okay, so for this one, you just need to do bold and italic. That's it. Okay, bold and italic. Totally optional, this one actually. Okay, this one just to show you how you can actually change. Okay, how you can change the settings actually. Okay, you can actually explore. Okay, all other features as well.
Hi, Miss Ashley. I want to ask about how come my by value cannot be select anything?
By value, there's nothing there actually to be selected in the first place. You need to
Oh,
drag and drop.
right. Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the formatting is totally up to you. Okay, this one is actually optional. If you want to change the color, the font, the size or whatsoever, it's totally up for you to explore it actually. Okay,
Say,
right? Yes. Oh no, false alarm. Okay, right. Okay, and then you see here. Okay, another one that you can try out. Okay, if you look at step 30, okay, still in format. Okay, I collapsed the x-axis already. So now in still in format, uh, can you look for total labels? If you don't see total labels, most probably because the visuals are not selected. Make sure it's selected first, and then in the format tab, you look for total labels. By default, it's off. Okay, so you click on, you slide it on, then you can see the value. Okay, you can see the value. Okay, because right now you see Nigeria and Germany looks like they're having the same height. But when you turn on the label, you can actually see they are not. Okay, another way for you to see the details of your chart is actually to mouse over. You see just now? Okay, so when you mouse over, okay, this one will update okay, the description as well. Okay, you can do that as well actually. Okay, right. So the label is actually also optional. Okay, if you don't want, you can just turn it off. So if you see the steps 31, they just ask us to turn it off, just like that. Okay, so far so good. Okay, good, excellent. Okay, right. Okay, so again, right, so you see here, this particular filter is only applicable at this point. Okay, but then again, if you want to work later on, because definitely in your report, you're going to add more visuals, right? And all the visuals is only about these five manufacturers. So you don't want to go to each visuals later on and then do filter one by one. It's tedious. It's doable, but it's tedious. So the easiest way is actually to create a group so that you can just use the group to just focus on the five manufacturer. Okay. So again, this is just another alternative actually. Okay. You can actually configure the filter for each visuals or page one by one if you want. But then again, another way for you to do it is to perform what we're going to do next actually. Okay, so that you can just focus on these five manufacturers. Okay, so to do that, okay, let's continue. We have few more minutes before your lunch break. 32, okay, so make sure this one is selected. It's already selected. Step number 33, hover over and select the clear filter icon. Okay, so in the filter pane, okay, so you mouse over manufacturer, you will see the eraser here. Okay, click on the eraser. Okay, now you don't have, okay, the filter applied already. Now you will see all the manufacturer. Okay, all the manufacturer. So we're going to do something differently now. Okay, we're going to create what we call group. Okay, we can call group actually. So to create a group, okay, you're going to go to data pane. Okay, so if you want to just focus on manufacturer, you can collapse everything first. Sometimes I do that so that I know which table I'm working on and only expand manufacturer. Okay, only expand manufacturer. Okay, right. So now we're actually doing step 34. Okay, so step 34. So right click manufacturer and then you look for, wait, sorry. Right click manufacturer column. Sorry, my bad. Okay, right click manufacturer column and then you look for new group. This one. Okay, new group. Okay, just now I select the wrong one. Okay, select uh, the column, right click and new group. Click on it, you will see this one pop up. Okay, right. And then we need to do a few things. Okay, so first we need to select for manufacturer key on your keyboard. Right, right. First click on Ali key. Okay, Ali key, right? And then control. And then the select one is curious. I don't even know whether I pronounce it correctly or not. Okay, and then the next one is Natura. and then Piram. Okay, this four. Okay, make sure this four selected and then click group. Okay, right. So you have this four group together. We want to rename it. To rename it, double click. Okay, and then start back top competitors. Enter. Okay, so now you have the first group, top competitors with four manufacturers. Okay, right. Next one, step 39. Now we are doing step 39. Select Van Asdel from the ungrouped values. This is the one. Select it and select group button to create the Van Asdel group. So click only one, Only one. And then you have this. Okay, right. And you have few more. Okay, the rest manufacturers, you're going to put it in another group. Okay, so to do that, just click on the checkbox here and then it will create another group that contains all other ungrouped values. And after that, you can just click OK. Okay, so now you will see the group created. Okay, the group created. So now we need to update our visuals to use the group instead of the column. Instead of the column. Okay, so now everybody step 42. Okay, step 42, right? Make sure you are back to add data to your visuals pane tab, sorry. And then you remove manufacturer from legend, click X this one, and then you drag and drop the group and put it here, right? Now you will see, okay, the data, the display is actually a bit different because now they will do the group, okay, by group actually, instead of individual, okay, manufacturer. Okay, so you can see Van Astel, one, which is in my case. Okay, if the colors are different, don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about the coloring actually. Okay, if your colors are different from the screenshot, it's okay. Okay, so mine also different actually. Van Astel is actually orange instead of blue. Okay, instead of blue. So it's totally fine. Don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about that actually. Okay, just make sure you have something similar now. And just make sure now you are using the group as the legend data, not manufacturer column. Okay, not manufacturer column. Okay. So far so good. Anybody actually able to follow up to this point? Okay, great. Okay. So now, it's actually just to again just optional actually if you want to see the data, the actual data. Remember just now we go to more options and then you have show as table. You can try to do that. Okay, so that you can actually see, okay, right? So once ask the data, okay, and the details for each countries as well. Okay, details for each countries, just optional. Okay, and if you don't want it to be top and bottom like this, okay, you can also change the orientation. Can you see here this one, the small icon with the arrow? Okay, switch to vertical layout, click on it. Now you will see it side by side. Okay, now you will see it side by side. Okay. Right? So now we have completed step 47. Okay, 47, basically just go back to report. Okay, right, nice. We stop at this one, okay, completed with this visual. Then after this, we can stop for your lunch break. Okay, we can stop for your lunch break actually. Okay,
I'm
so
sorry, can
almost
I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
Where do you click to show the table? I missed that step.
This one in the more options here,
More
and
options, okay.
then show as a table. This one.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So to be safe, okay, so save your report first so that after the lunch break, you can still access the same report. Okay, make sure you save, okay, your file. Okay, after this, we're going to stop for a lunch break. Today is Friday, 2 hours lunch break. If you want to work on your own, okay, to continue, yes, you can do it on your own. So, but after lunch break later on, we're going to continue with step 48 on page 22 together. Okay, but if you want to try out on your own first, why not? Okay, by all means, you can just proceed on your own first, no problem. Okay, but after lunch break, we continue with 48. Step 48 on page 22, lab 2. Okay, so everybody, let's stop for your lunch break and come back at 2:30. Okay, enjoy your break, everyone.